Chapter 2060 disappeared. A few days later, Yang Kai returned to Fenggalan City. After entering the city gate, Yang Kai didn't even have time to report to Saran that he was safe, so he hurried back to the cave he rented. Taking out the token, Yang Kai poured the source power in, and shook it towards the restriction of the cave. But what shocked him to the extreme was that the cave restriction didn't respond at all, as if his token had no effect. This made him frown, but soon, he remembered something. When I came to Fenggalan City at that time, the period of renting the cave seemed to be 1 year, and counting the days, this period should have passed 2 months ago. Once the deadline expires, the right to use the cave will definitely be taken back. Yang Kai suddenly thumped in his heart, realizing that something was wrong. It doesn't matter if the time limit of the cave mansion has passed. At worst, he will go to the city lord's mansion to register and rent another one, but it's just a matter of source crystals. He didn't store anything too valuable in the cave, so don't worry too much. But, before he left, the little girl of the Zhang family was still in the cave. At that time, he went to Yuanding Mountain with Saran to explore Gongsunmu's cave, and he didn't expect to be delayed for such a long time. He thought he would be able to return in a short time, so he didn't even tell Zhang Ruoxi in detail before leaving, only told she was going to go out and left her here alone. Now the usage period of the Dongfu has expired, and the usage authority has been withdrawn, but what about Zhang Ruoxi? Yang Kai looked around, but didn't see the slender figure, so he couldn't help feeling a little anxious. When she was leaving, Zhang Ruoxi only had the cultivation of the first level of the Holy King. In Fenggalan City where dragons and snakes are mixed, she has no power to protect herself. Unbelievable. Will you go back to the Zhang family by yourself? Yang Kai murmured to himself. From Zhang Ruoxi's point of view, if the right to use the cave was taken back and he was kicked out of the cave, he would definitely go back to Zhang's house first. If this is the case, then there is no need to worry about it. After all, although the Zhang family is not strong, they still have 2 Void King realm. Just when Yang Kai had no idea, there was a wave of restraint around him. Yang Kai was stunned, turned his head to look, and found that the gate of the cave was actually opened, and a pretty face of a young woman was poked out from inside. The young woman looked about 30 or so, and her pair of beautiful eyes looked at Yang Kai with extreme vigilance, suspicious. Said, "Who are you?" Yang Kai quickly clasped his fists and said, "My servant, Yang Kai, was originally the owner of this cave." The young woman frowned and said, "I have rented this cave now, and there was nothing left in it when I came in." "I know, I'm not here to find something." Yang Kai smiled slightly, trying to be kind. "Not looking for something?" Seeing this, the young woman became even more puzzled. "Then what are you doing?" "Look for someone, a young girl." Yang Kai hurriedly said, "She was supposed to live here, but she's gone now. I don't know if Furen has seen her." Hearing that Yang Kai was here to find someone, the young woman raised her eyebrows, her complexion changed slightly, she quickly shook her head and said, "I haven't seen it before." While speaking, he retracted his head and closed the door at the same time. Wait. Seeing this, Yang Kai immediately understood that she must know something, so she just retreated like this, and as soon as she stretched out her hand, she blocked the door. The young woman's complexion changed suddenly, and she said sharply, "What do you want to do? This is Fenggalan City." Yang Kai let out a cold snort, and walked directly into the cave, closing the door casually, staring at the young woman coldly with a pair of eyes, and at the same time, a powerful aura erupted from his body, directly pressing towards the young woman. Daoyuanjing. Sensing the horror of this aura, the young woman's complexion suddenly changed, she cried out softly, and the beautiful eyes that looked at Yang Kai finally changed. In Fenggalan City, the strength level of warriors is generally not high, and there are not many Daoyuan realm experts. Each of them has a lot of background, and it is definitely not something that ordinary warriors can provoke. So as soon as she noticed Yang Kai's cultivation level, the young woman panicked. She is only at the first level of Void King, how can she resist the coercion of Daoyuan strong? Although he was struggling to support, his body softened immediately, and he stretched out his hand to support the wall next to him, so as not to be overwhelmed. She bit her red lips, looked at Yang Kai pleadingly and said, "Little brother, you and I have no grievances in the past, and I have never offended you, please don't embarrass me too much." "I won't embarrass you," Yang Kai said with a cold face, "I only ask a few questions, you answer honestly, if you dare to lie, I will tell you to live or die. You should know that I have this ability." Hearing this, the young woman gritted her teeth and nodded slightly. Very good, let me ask you, have you seen that little girl? Yang Kai stared at the other party with a pair of eyes, not letting go of the slightest change in her expression. The young woman pondered for a moment, then nodded with difficulty. I don't know if that little girl is the one you're looking for, but I did meet a little girl at the gate of the cave. Tell me, how old is she, what is her cultivation, what are her characteristics? Yang Kai asked anxiously. 16 or 17 years old. In terms of cultivation, he is at the peak of the second level of the Holy King, and is about to break through the third level of the Holy King. He looks a little frail, with a slender figure, soft-spoken, black and straight hair. She is right. Yang Kai's eyes lit up, and he was sure that the person the young woman saw was Zhang Ruoxi, but he did not expect that in this short period of less than a year, Zhang Ruoxi's cultivation could go from the first level of the Holy King has been promoted to the peak of the second level of the Holy King, and it is about to break through the third level. It seems that the little girl's aptitude is not bad. Of course, there must be the contribution of the leopard Jexi pill. You said you saw her at the gate of the cave. What is she doing at the gate of the cave? Yang Kai asked with a frown. The young woman said, stand at the door. Standing. Yang Kai was stunned. That's right, just standing there. I rented here 2 months ago. At that time, she was at the entrance of the cave, but I didn't pay attention. Later, I found that she had been standing there without moving. Out of curiosity, I asked her, and she told me that she was waiting for a Mr. Yang. Little brother, are you that Mr. Yang? The young woman raised her head timidly to look at Yang Kai while asking, and suddenly found that Yang Kai was stunned there. At this moment, Yang Kai's mood fluctuated. I couldn't help but imagine a scene in my mind. In Fenggalan City where people come and go, at the gate of this cave, a 16-year-old girl, Wen, stood quietly in place, despite the wind and sun, still motionless. From time to time, I looked left and right, but I never saw the familiar figure. In the noisy city, she was like an abandoned person, lonely, hesitant, and at a loss. As the night fell and the cold wind hit, she could only curl up in place and shiver. At dawn, open your eyes and continue to wait. Yang Kai's heart is inexplicably heavy. I feel sorry for her, and invited her to come in, but she didn't agree. She told her to stand there and wait. Mr. Yang, little brother, I really didn't do anything to her, so don't embarrass me. The young woman looked at Yang Kai in fear, for fear that Yang Kai would vent his anger on her. You didn't do anything to her, so why didn't you tell me the truth in the first place? On the contrary, you closed the cave as soon as I asked her whereabouts. Are you obviously guilty of being a thief? Yang Kai looked at her coldly. A murderous intent flashed in the depths of the young woman's eyes. The young woman seemed to be aware of it. She was agitated, and quickly waved her hands. No, it's not what you think. I really didn't hurt her. Tell me, where is she now? You seem to know something from your look. Yang Kai said coldly. The young woman shook her head. Yang Kai chuckled lightly. It seems that you have some scruples. Little brother, don't force me, just let me go. As long as you don't force me, you can do whatever you want. The young woman begged for mercy, implying something, and her expression became a little charming when she spoke. All watery. Yang Kai's expression was indifferent, unmoved. A strange force suddenly lingered in his fingertips, and his voice was low and impatient. Say, or die. While speaking, he slowly poked at the young woman's forehead. Seeing Yang Kai's heart of stone, the young woman finally panicked and said, go to Yang's house, maybe you can find her there. Zhang family. Yang Kai's fingers stopped 3 inches away from the young woman's forehead. The power lingering around his fingertips suddenly dissipated, and he looked at the young woman thoughtfully and said, no wonder you are so scrupulous. It turns out to be the Zhang family. But, Zhang, why did the family take her away? I don't know. The young woman shook her head. A month ago, a few men came over to talk to her, and then she followed them away. I was curious, so I followed them quietly, and found that they were entering Yang's family. I really don't know about the others. Even if you kill me, it's useless. She took the initiative to follow them. Yang Kai frowned. Yes. The young woman nodded. Okay, thank you madam for telling me sincerely, and I'm leaving. Yang Kai cupped his hands, dodged, and rushed out. After Yang Kai left, the young woman fell to the ground like a puddle of mud. Her clothes were soaked with sweat. She has no background and no sect, and she can cultivate to the first level of the Void King all by her own efforts and various opportunities. She has never been in contact with a strong man in the Daoyuan realm. Today, she is so intimidated by Yang Kai at close range. She was scared to death. Fortunately, Yang Kai was reasonable and didn't really do anything to her, otherwise she would be absolutely powerless to resist. After a while, the young woman came back to her senses, got up abruptly, rushed into the cave, and quickly packed up her things. Not long after, the young woman walked out of the cave, went straight to the city gate, and left Fenglan City soon. She doesn't dare to stay in Fenglan City any longer. If one day the Zhang family finds her, she will be in big trouble. As far as she knows, the Zhang family is not like that. Mr. Yang is so easy to talk to. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 2061. Yang Kai has never had any dealings with the Zhang family in Fenglan City, but he has heard about it many times. He knows that the strength of this family in Fenglan City is not bad. It seems that there is an ancestor of Daoyuan level in the family. There are many families in Fenglan City, but there are not many families with Daoyuan strongmen. The Zhang family is one, and the Qin family is also one. On the first floor of the five-color pagoda, Zhang Chuhei, who Yang Kai had met, was the leader of the Zhang family's new generation, with a cultivation base of the Void King's Third Order realm. As long as the opportunity is sufficient, he can be promoted to the Daoyuan realm. The Zhang family has been in Fenglan City for hundreds of thousands of years, and its relationship with other major families and even the city lord's mansion is intricate and complicated. Although Yang Kai didn't know why the Zhang family took Zhang Ruoxi away, a girl in the Saint King realm would definitely be of little use to the Zhang family, even if some dude from the Zhang family fell in love with Zhang Ruoxi's beauty, to do something indecent to her. If that is the case, I am afraid it will be too late. After all, Zhang Ruoxi was taken away by the Zhang family a month ago, and anything could happen within a month. But what makes Yang Kai more concerned is why Zhang Ruoxi took the initiative to leave with a few members of the Zhang family, but after thinking about it carefully, Zhang Ruoxi is not very old, and has been staying in the Zhang family before and has never gone out. Maybe he was deceived by something. To deal with a little girl like her, just a few coaxing words may make her submit. Secretly anxious in his heart, Yang Kai was also a little annoyed that he couldn't even take good care of a little girl. Since he was going to the Zhang family to look for Zhang Ruoxi, it would be impossible to go there in such an above-board manner. If any nerves of the Zhang family were touched and they were forced to kill Zhang Ruoxi, it would be too late for regret. So Yang Kai was going to check out the details of the Zhang family first. If Zhang Ruoxi is really in the Zhang family, with his current powerful consciousness, it should be possible to find her without anyone noticing. After making up his mind, Yang Kai didn't have time to wait until it was dark, so he went straight to the Zhang family's location. East of Maple Forest City. A stretch of residential buildings, covering an area of about tens of acres. Surrounded by red walls and blue tiles, tall walls, everyone who has been in Fenglan City all year round knows that this is the Zhang family's foundation in Fenglan City. Generally, important members of the Zhang family live here. Yang Kai came to a wall, released his divine sense, felt it for a moment, and suddenly found that the wall was full of restrictions and traps. However, such a restriction would not bother him, since he discovered it. Of course he wouldn't touch it. Just when Yang Kai was about to climb over the wall and take a look inside, his expression suddenly changed slightly, and when he turned around, he cast the void secret technique and hid to the side. After a while, a graceful figure suddenly shot over from not far away, landed on the position where Yang Kai was standing before, looked around for a while, then scratched his head, and said to himself in a daze, "It should be here, where did it go? It's really strange." Hearing the sound, Yang Kai was startled, and couldn't help but glanced over there. Immediately called out in surprise, "Shaoqi." He found out that the person who came was actually that mysterious Mo Shaoqi. The two hadn't seen each other for more than a year since they parted in the five-color pagoda, and now Yang Kai had just returned to Fenglan City, and this girl came over by herself. Since he was an acquaintance, Yang Kai naturally didn't need to hide any longer. After dissipating the void secret technique and re-revealing his figure, Mo Shaoqi immediately spotted him and walked over with a smile. He said happily, "Brother Yang is really you, I thought I made a mistake. Where have you been for the past half a year? Why aren't you in Fenglan City?" She asked a lot of questions like a cannonball, and Yang Kai didn't even have a chance to answer. Yang Kai smiled bitterly, said, "Some time ago I went out for some business, and I didn't return until today." "Oh," Mo Shaoqi nodded when he heard the words, and said with a smile, I thought you left without saying goodbye, Brother Yang, which made me sad for a long time. Yang Kai smiled and said, if you really want to leave, I will tell you, but how did you find me? Mo Xiaoqi stuck out her tongue, and said a little embarrassedly, the sound bead I gave you before, has a tracking brand on it, as long as the distance is not too far, you can check it. Yang Kai suddenly realized that he took out the round bead from the space ring, looked at it, and stuffed it back without seeing anything. Mo Xiaoqi looked around for a while, then suddenly lowered his voice, and said, this is the Zhang family, Brother Yang, are you going in? Yang Kai nodded. Mo Xiaoqi's beautiful eyes lit up, and she asked quietly, what are you doing in there? Did the Zhang family offend you in some way? Do you want me to help? She looked very excited, as if she had found something extremely interesting. Yang Kai sighed, and briefly explained Zhang Ruoxi's matter. Mo Xiaoqi was filled with righteous indignation when he heard it. The Zhang family's reputation has not been very good, and it is really disgusting to attack Sister Ruoxi this time. Gone. Now I'm not sure what the Zhang family did to take Ruoxi away. Yang Kai frowned, that's why I wanted to come and inquire quietly. I'll help you, but Brother Yang, you should have told me earlier that there are still people in your cave. If you had told me earlier, I would have taken Sister Ruoxi to me. Mo Xiaoqi looked at him with some complaints. Yang Kai coughed dryly, and said awkwardly, I didn't know that I would be away for so long. Hey, let's not talk about this, let me tell you what Ruoxi looks like, and pay more attention after you go in. Mo Xiaoqi nodded repeatedly and listened attentively, remembering Zhang Ruoxi's appearance. A girl of 16 or 17 years old, with the cultivation base of the peak of the Saint King's second layer, such characteristics are obvious. If Zhang Ruoxi is really in the Zhang family, it should not be difficult to find out. Be careful, the Zhang family has a Dao origin realm expert sitting in the town, so don't be discovered. When it was time to finish, Yang Kai gave another warning. Mo Xiaoqi said with a smile, don't worry, the ancestor of the Zhang family doesn't live in Fengguan City, he's been retreating in the manor outside all year round. Hearing what she said, Yang Kai was no longer worried. As long as the Zhang family doesn't have a source of Dao, no one should find him and Mo Xiaoqi. Although Mo Xiaoqi only has a cultivation base of the Void King's third layer realm, he acts mysteriously, and his concealment skills are also excellent, so there is no need to worry about it exposed. Afterwards, the two agreed on a meeting time, and they split up to act. Since it was confirmed from Mo Xiaoqi that the ancestor of the Zhang family was not here, Yang Kai acted a lot bolder. After sneaking into the Zhang family quietly, he let go of his spiritual sense and easily swept every corner of the Zhang family. Every inch of land. However, as time passed, Yang Kai's expression became more serious. He failed to find traces of Zhang Ruoxi in Yang's house. 2 hours later, it was getting dark, and Yang Kai and Mo Xiaoqi reunited in a small alley not far from the Zhang family's wall. Looking at each other, Mo Xiaoqi slowly shook his head. Yang Kai's expression darkened, his brows wrinkled tightly. Brother Yang, what should we do now? Sister Ruoxi will be fine. Mo Xiaoqi also became worried. Now that Zhang Ruoxi is alive and dead, it is the worst kind of situation. Zhang Ruoxi has never met, but she is also very anxious because of her kind nature. I hope nothing happens. Yang Kai's face was gloomy and a little scary. He pondered for a moment and said, since this is not possible, then we can only inquire directly. I hope the Zhang family will not do anything to kill themselves. Hearing this, Mo Xiaoqi took a deep look at Yang Kai, nodded and said, let's go together. Yang Kai has no objection. After a while, the two came to the main gate of the Zhang family together. The two Zhang family guards at the door were about to stop them. One of them seemed to have seen the depth of Yang Kai and Mo Xiaoqi's cultivation, but he didn't dare to be too negligent, and politely asked, dare to ask. The two of you came to my Zhang residence late at night, what is your business? Yang Kai returned a salute, and said, please inform Patriarch Zhang, and tell him that Yang Kai, alchemist of Spirit Pill Workshop, is asking to see him. The alchemist of the Spirit Pill Workshop. The guard guarding the gate was shocked when he heard the words, looked Yang Kai up and down, and then said seriously, please wait a moment, I will report to the Patriarch. The Spiritual Pill Workshop is well known in Fengguan City. After all, it is the property established by the Ziwen Chamber of Commerce here, and the person who can work as an alchemist in the Spiritual Pill Workshop and refine spirit pills must at least be a Void King level alchemist. Such a person suddenly came to visit the Zhang family. The guard who guarded the gate dared not be sloppy, rushed inside in a hurry, apparently to report to the Zhang family's head. The reason why Yang Kai wanted to use the name of the alchemist of the spirit pill workshop was also a helpless move. After all, his reputation is nothing in Fenggalan City, and only his identity as an alchemist can make the Zhang family take it seriously. It can make the Zhang family have some scruples, and it is more convenient and safe to inquire about Zhang Ruoxi's whereabouts. He and Mo Shaoqi waited outside for less than half a cup of tea, and suddenly there was a burst of hearty laughter in Yang's mansion. Before the people arrived, the voice came, "Pill Master Yang and Ling Dianfeng visiting the Zhang family really makes my Zhang family flourish. Old man Zhang Lin welcomes Pill Master Yang." After the words fell, a ruddy-faced, half-aged man who looked about 50 walked out of the room, and greeted him warmly with fists in his face. This person is naturally Zhang Lin, the current head of the Zhang family. Zhang Lin is wearing a blue robe, with a majestic appearance, and his eyes are restrained, not too conspicuous. But the source power in his body was extremely pure. Yang Kai nodded secretly, thinking in his mind that the rumors that the Zhang family patriarch would be able to advance to the Dao source realm soon were true. And behind Zhang Lin, there were some other Void King third-level warriors, all of whom were not young, and they should be some senior figures of the Zhang family, and among them, Zhang Chuhei was also prominently present. List. When seeing Yang Kai, Zhang Chuhei couldn't help being stunned, showing a look of astonishment. He obviously didn't expect that Yang Kai was the alchemist of the Spirit Pill Workshop. After all, he had met Yang Kai at the Rising Dragon altar before. To be continued. Chapter 2062 Negotiation. Zhang Lin, the patriarch of the Zhang family, and many elders of the Chengbai came out to greet him, obviously giving Yang Kai enough face. Seeing this, Yang Kai clasped his fists neither humble nor overbearing and said, "It's really helpless to visit late at night, disturbing Patriarch Zhang and everyone. Why don't you please don't blame me?" "What are you talking about? It's my Zhang family's fortune that alchemist Yang came to my Zhang family. I didn't have time to welcome you, so why bother?" Zhang Lin was extremely enthusiastic, laughing loudly. Said, "Pill Master Yang is talking inside." Yang Kai nodded lightly, exchanged winks with Mo Shaoqi, and under the leadership of Zhang Lin, went straight to the inside of the Zhang family. After a while, everyone came to the Zhang family's welcoming hall, where the guests and the host were seated. Some of the servants had already received the news that they had prepared tea and presented them one by one. Under Zhang Lin's warm hospitality, Yang Kai drank a few sips of tea and gave a few absent-minded praises. Zhang Lin didn't seem to notice. He chuckled and said, "I've heard about the name of Pill Master Yang in the Spirit Pill Workshop, but I haven't had the chance to meet him. I never thought that Pill Master Yang would come to my Yang's house in person today." Zhang was really surprised and pleasantly surprised. Yang Kai showed a hint of stunned color, said, "Patriarch Zhang has heard of me." He thought what Zhang Lin said before was just polite, but he didn't expect that he really knew himself. Zhang Lin smiled and said, "Alchemist Yang's name is probably known to anyone with a bit of status in Fenggalan City. To tell you the truth, my Zhang family purchased a lot of yuening pill you refined, and many disciples, so I benefited from it. And Pill Master Yang, with his own power, avoided the bad luck of closing down the Ling Dianfeng. I have heard of it for a long time." Hearing what he said, Yang Kai understood. Although he didn't show his face much during the months of alchemy in the Spirit Pill Workshop, but some things that happened in the Spirit Pill Workshop may not be hidden from the inquiring of these local snakes, so it is not surprising to know the existence of Yang Kai. There are not many alchemists in Fenggalan City, and there are not many alchemists who can refine yuening pills. Even if Alchemist Yang doesn't want to be famous, someone has already spread your name. Zhang Lin laughed then. Suddenly, the conversation changed, and he inquired meaningfully, "However, I heard that Alchemist Yang has left the Spiritual Pill Workshop now. He no longer makes alchemy for the Spiritual Pill Workshop. I don't know if this news is true or not." Yang Kai nodded without any intention of concealing it and said, "That's right, I had an agreement with shopkeeper Kong at that time. It was only for 2 months of alchemy in the Spirit Pill Workshop, and now the deadline has passed long ago." Really? Zhang Lin was overjoyed. Not only Zhang Lin showed a look of joy, but even the elders of the Zhang family who were sitting beside him all changed their expressions, looking at Yang Kai with fiery eyes as if they were looking at some stunning beauty, wishing to kill him with one bite. Swallowed. Seeing this situation, Yang Kai frowned and said, "Alchemy is not my main field of study, so I have no intention of always developing in this field." "That's it. Zhang Lin is an old man, he still can't hear the meaning of Yang Kai's words, and he is a little disappointed. If Pill Master Yang has this choice, it would be a pity. Well, I don't know that Pill Master Yang is coming to me Zhang family, what is the matter? If there is anything my Zhang family can do to help, I will definitely not refuse. Although Yang Kai said that, but he is still a Void King level alchemist after all. It is not harmful for the Zhang family to have a good relationship with such a person. How could Zhang Lin let go of this good opportunity? And he also knew that since Yang Kai came to the Zhang family, he must have something to ask him. Yang Kai pondered for a moment, and said, since Patriarch Zhang asked, I'll get straight to the point. I came to your family this time mainly to find someone. Looking for someone? Zhang Lin frowned, and the other long-term elders who were sitting also had suspicious expressions on their faces, wondering who Yang Kai was looking for when he came to the Zhang family. Zhang Lin asked, I don't know who Pill Master Yang is looking for. A little girl, at the age of 16 or 17, with a cultivation level at the peak of the Second Order Saint King. Yang Kai briefly described Zhang Ruoxi's appearance and some characteristics. While he was speaking, the eyelids of a rosy-faced old man sitting on the left suddenly twitched slightly, and immediately returned to normal. Yang Kai's consciousness immediately caught this detail, and his heart moved immediately, and he glanced at him thoughtfully. The old man immediately lowered his eyes, showing a calm expression. After listening to Yang Kai's description, Zhang Lin looked at everyone present and asked, does our Zhang family have such a little girl? An old man sitting next to Zhang Lin stood up immediately, cupped his fists and said, go home, my Zhang family may have such a little girl, but I don't know if she is the person Pill Master Yang is looking for. Okay, then bring him up and show him to Pill Master Yang. If it's the person Pill Master Yang is looking for, my Zhang family will naturally not be able to keep him. Zhang Lin said happily. No need. Yang Kai hadn't spoken yet, but Mo Shaoqi, who had been sitting silently by the side, waved his hand and said, the person we are looking for is not here. Zhang Lin couldn't help frowning, glanced at Mo Shaoqi, then looked at Yang Kai, and said suspiciously, Pill Master Yang, what does this mean? Since you came to my Yang's house to find someone, why did you say that the person is not in my Yang's house? Zhang is really confused by you. Could it be that you have secretly checked my Zhang family before, so you can be so sure? An elder of the Zhang family suddenly remembered something, his face changed slightly, and he shouted in a deep voice. When the others heard the words, their complexions also sank, and they looked at Yang Kai and Mo Shaoqi with some displeasure. Mo Shaoqi immediately knew that he had said the wrong thing just now, and couldn't help shrinking his head, feeling a little guilty. Yang Kai was safe and sound, and said, don't get me wrong, it's just that I put some restrictions on that little girl. As long as the distance is not too far away, I can sense it with the power of the restrictions, so it's like this sure. So that's how it is. Zhang Lin nodded in amazement, and said immediately, but if this is the case, then why did Pill Master Yang come to my Zhang family to find someone? It's like this. Yang Kai sighed and said, someone saw that little girl leaving with your Zhang family members and entered the Zhang mansion, so Yang took the liberty to come to disturb, but I don't know why, but now she is not here. If anyone here knows her whereabouts, please let me know. Yang will be very grateful. Who saw it? Who saw it? The old Zhang parent who spoke earlier asked sharply. This is really impossible to tell. Yang Kai shook his head. He couldn't confess the young woman, and, according to his estimation, the young woman might have left Fenggalan City at this moment. It's pure slander. The elder Yang's family shook their sleeves angrily. If my Zhang family really has that little girl, why should I hide anything? My Zhang family will not do anything shameful. No one said you guys are going to do something shameful. Mo Shaoqi curled his lips when he heard that. You, the elder of the Zhang family, was furious. Okay. Zhang Lin also frowned, waved his hand, and glared at the old man, then turned his head to look at Yang Kai and said, Pill Master Yang, you didn't see that little girl enter Yang's house with your own eyes. It's just hearsay, how can you take it seriously? Besides, since you have a forbidden feeling with that little girl, you should know better than anyone else whether she is in Zhenga's residence or not. Yang Kai nodded. I know, this matter may make you a little bit embarrassed, but that little girl is very important to me. How about this, Alchemist Yang, since my Zhang family has been involved in this matter, Zhang can't just sit idly by. My Zhang family has some strength in Fenggalan City, we can help you find out. If we can find those little girls the whereabouts of the Zhang family, it would be the best to return my Zhang family's innocence. I don't know what Pill Master Yang wants. After the words fell, Zhang Lin looked at Yang Kai with burning eyes. Yang Kai's eyes narrowed slightly, and after a while, he nodded lightly and said, "Then I will thank Patriarch Zhang. If the Zhang family can bring the little girl to Yang without any damage, Yang can agree to refine a month's panacea for the Zhang family. I forgot to tell Patriarch Zhang, Yang is now a high-grade alchemist at the Zhuang level, and if he is lucky, refining Daoyuan level spirit pills will not be a problem." Since the day he refined Daoyuan pill, Yang Kai has been a Daoyuan level alchemist. But even in the Star Realm, Daoyuan level alchemists are extremely rare. Of course, Yang Kai can't tell outsiders casually that the identity of the Void King level high-grade alchemist is enough. Sure enough, as soon as this remark came out, everyone in the Zhang family's expressions lifted. Zhuang level top-grade alchemist. Refining a panacea for a month. Even Zhang Lin's eyes turned hot. Although he knew that an alchemist in the Spirit Pill Workshop must at least be at the Void King level, but he never thought that Yang Kai was actually a Void King level top rank. Such an alchemist is very attractive to any family. If he can get his friendship and help, it will be of great benefit to the future development of the family. If he is promoted to Daoyuan level in the future, it will not be something the Zhang family can afford. For a while, Zhang Lin and many elders of Yang's family became short of breath. But if there is any harm to that girl, whoever lays hands on her, I will want that family to be restless, full of ink. After Yang Kai's voice fell, the faces of the Zhang family's group of people suddenly changed, and all of them became cold and severe. Zhang Lin's face twitched a few times, and then he smiled and said, "If the person who took the little girl knew that she had such a relationship with Pillmaster Yang, he would never dare to be rude to her, and treat her as Ida's too late for the guests on the seat. I hope so." Yang Kai nodded slightly, and after finishing speaking, he got up and clasped his fists. "I'm sorry to disturb you, Yang will leave, everyone will not see you off." After finishing speaking, he gave Mo Xiaoqi a wink, and the two left quickly under the watchful eyes of the Zhang family. In the welcoming hall, the atmosphere was a bit dignified. After Yang Kai left for a long time, no one spoke. All the senior members of the Zhang family just looked at me and I looked at you. Their eyes met, and some unknown messages quickly came out. Air pass. To be continued. This text is provided by the Breaking Dawn update group at AC plus or minus a degree a diaresis T. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 2063 Tracking. After a long time, someone shouted angrily, "This Yang Kaichu is really defiant, he dared to come to my Zhang family to act wildly." The person who spoke was Zhang Chuhei, the leader of the new generation. When I saw Yang Kai at the Rising Dragon altar on the first floor of the five-color pagoda that day, everyone was still a martial artist who entered it to practice, but they didn't want to see you again today. The alchemy master. The other party's third party suddenly, the discussion just now had no part for him to interrupt at all, which made him feel very uncomfortable. Moreover, when the other party came to Yang's house, he never glanced at him from the beginning to the end, clearly looking down on him. That's right, he dared to threaten us in the end, it's really hateful. An elder who had spoken before also had a dark expression on his face. Zhang Lin snorted coldly, and said lightly, "This is not a place to talk, come with me." After the words fell, he stood up straight. Others hurried to follow. After a while, everyone gathered in a secret room of the Zhang family. Zhang Lin glanced at everyone, and then asked, "Elders, is that the person Pillmaster Yang is looking for?" One of them heard the words and sighed. The cultivation of the peak of the second level of the Holy King should be in that place, and you know, the Patriarch, the people we were looking for a while ago are mainly people with this kind of cultivation, may have really brought that friend of Pillmaster Yang in. Another elder also stood up, cupped his fists and said, "I have some impression of that little girl." Oh, Zhang Lin heard the words, glanced at the elder, and said, "So, she was really sent in?" Yes. The elder nodded lightly. The two disciples of the Japanese clan saw the little girl alone in the city, standing somewhere for a full month, so they decided she has no relatives and no reason. After a little investigation, I found that she really has no background and backing in Fenggalan City, so I sent her into Yang's house, and the old man sent her into the mine together with the others. After a pause, the elder said with a bit of a headache, "I didn't expect that the little girl actually knew Pillmaster Yang. Now it seems that the person she is waiting for in the city is definitely Pillmaster Yang. If I knew this earlier, I would. How could they send her to the mines?" Since people are indeed here with us, what should we do now? Someone became very dissatisfied. It's impossible to hand over people. The minerals produced in that mine are extremely rare. It is the hope of my Zhang family's rise. The matter of the mine must not be leaked. If we really want to bring her back, the matter of the mine will not be concealed. If the city lord's mansion finds out, my Zhang family will be in danger. Since it can't be brought back, then can only, the other person said in a cold tone. Everyone turned their attention to Zhang Lin. Zhang Lin also had a headache. After all, Yang Kai said that if the Zhang family can send Zhang Ruoxi back safe and sound, he'll be able to make alchemy for the Zhang family for a month. Such a good thing just missed, which made Zhang Lin very sad. Patriarch, you can't hesitate anymore. Yang Kai said that the little girl has the restrictions he issued. As long as the distance is not too far, you can sense it. In case Yang Kai senses the little girl's position, the mine, the secret can't be hidden anymore. Compared with the mine, a Void King level top-grade alchemist who does alchemy for a month is nothing. What's more, this matter also involves the interests of the City Lord's mansion. If the City Lord's mansion finds out, where is my Zhang family's foothold in Fenggalan City? That's right, Patriarch, don't hesitate any longer. Faced with everyone's persuasion, Zhang Lin sighed, apparently having made a decision, looked up at one of the elders and said, "Fifth elder, I'll leave this matter to you, be sure to clean it up." Hearing the words, the fifth elder cupped his fists and said, "I'll do things, don't worry. Let's all go away." Zhang Lin waved his hand. Everyone should not go to the place where the mine is located for a while now. Tell them to be careful, so as not to be seen by Yang Kai. Yes, everyone suddenly agreed. After leaving Yang's house, Yang Kai's face sank like water. Mo Shaoqi said, "I always feel that there is something wrong with the Zhang family. Sister Ruoxi may really be with them. It should be right." Yang Kai recalled the change in the expression of one of the Zhang family elders during the previous conversation, and he had already guessed in his heart, it's just that she is really not in the Zhang family. Where is she, the people of the Zhang family, hiding what she's doing? Yang Kai really couldn't figure it out. Just when he was deep in thought, Mo Shaoqi clapped his hands suddenly, as if thinking of something. He said, "By the way, Brother Yang, do you have anything that Sister Ruoxi used on you?" The things she used? Yang Kai frowned. What? If there are things she used, I might have a way to track down her whereabouts. Really? Yang Kai looked happy. That's right, but it must be something with her breath, preferably something that is used frequently, such as clothes, hair, etc. Mo Shaoqi tilted her head and said, "I don't have these things, but what? There must be a place." Yang Kai raised his mouth and beckoned, "Follow me." After the words fell, the source force wrapped Mo Shaoqi up, and he rushed towards a certain direction like lightning. When Yang Kai used his power like this, Mo Shaoqi suddenly noticed it, looked at Yang Kai in amazement, and said, "Brother Yang, have you advanced to Daoyuan?" She hadn't paid much attention to Yang Kai's changes before, and Yang Kai deliberately hid his aura, so Mo Shaoqi didn't realize that Yang Kai had actually been promoted. Yang Kai nodded and said, "I had some chances when I went out a while ago, and I was lucky enough to break through." "Brother Yang, you are really amazing." Mo Shaoqi admired him sincerely. Yang Kai shook his head and said, "The source of Tao is nothing, and you will soon be able to break through." Hearing this, Mo Shaoqi giggled, as if he really had great confidence. After a while, Yang Kai took Mo Shaoqi to a manor 300 miles outside Fenggalan City. This is the mansion of the Zhang family. Yang Kai did not have anything that Zhang Ruoxi used, but the Zhang family must have it. Asking Mo Shaoqi to wait outside the manor, Yang Kai sneaked into the Zhang residence alone. He didn't disturb the old woman and the beautiful woman of the Zhang family. After all, Zhang Ruoxi was involved, and Yang Kai didn't want them to worry. The spiritual sense swept over and found that the Zhang family was peaceful. Although there were many restrictions and magic circles in the manor, how could a small family's means be difficult to stop Yang Kai? After being promoted to Daoyuan realm, his power of consciousness is much stronger than before. She easily avoided many restrictions and came to Zhang Ruoxi's boudoir. After looking around for a while, the boudoir was spotless, clean and tidy, obviously because someone came to clean it from time to time. And on the incense bed, several pieces of clothes were neatly folded. That should be the clothes Zhang Ruoxi wore before. Yang Kai didn't take a closer look, grabbed one of them casually, stuffed it into the space ring, and quickly left the Zhang family's mansion. After a while, he went back outside again. handed the clothes he took to Mo Xiaoqi, and said, "See if this works." Mo Xiaoqi took it, picked up the top one, and shook it away with a flick of his hand. The next moment, Mo Xiaoqi's pretty face couldn't help but reddened, and she glared at Yang Kai reproachfully. Yang Kai also expressed his expression with a stunned expression, his eyes turned away from the clothes, and he said awkwardly, "I took it with me." It wasn't until this moment that he realized that it was actually a close-fitting bra, which was pink in color and looked very small and exquisite. Looking at the other clothes on Mo Xiaoqi's hands, they are also close-fitting clothes. For a moment, Yang Kai couldn't help but blush, feeling uncomfortable. Mo Xiaoqi stomped her feet shamelessly, put away the other clothes, then turned around, turned her back to Yang Kai, and stretched out her hand to pat a cloth bag on her waist. The next moment, accompanied by a strange squeak, the flying bat that Yang Kai had seen before suddenly appeared. The little flying bat circled around Mo Xiaoqi, and then stood firmly on her shoulder. Mo Xiaoqi's expression turned serious, he pinched Ling Ju with his hands, and muttered, there was something to say, but he didn't know what he was muttering. After a while, she stretched out her hand to enter the mouth, bit her fingertips, drew a strange spiritual circle on Zhang Ruoxi's bra, and then pointed her blood-stained finger on the forehead of the flying bat. What a squeak! The spirit array on the small corsage turned into a stream of light, which shot into the forehead of the flying bat, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The next moment, the flying bat moved its nose, flapped its wings, flew into the air, turned around deftly, and shot towards a certain direction. "Follow!" Mo Xiaoqi yelled coquettishly, put away the little bra, and hurriedly followed behind the little bat. Seeing this, Yang Kai didn't hesitate, and hurriedly followed. 2,000 miles away from Fenggalan City, there is a barren mountain. This barren mountain looks extremely desolate on the surface, not a single blade of grass grows, and the spiritual energy of the world is also extremely thin. There are no warriors living in this place at all, only a small village stands here, and the people living in the small village are ordinary people who cannot cultivate. However, because the barren mountain is desolate, there are no wild beasts or monsters, and it is closer to Fenggalan City, so even ordinary people can live and work here in peace. And in a certain hidden cave in the barren mountain, 2 warriors at the first level of the Void King are closing their eyes and resting their minds. Yudi, one of the men in white robes, seemed to be aware of it. He quickly opened his eyes, stretched out his hand, and a communication compass appeared in the palm of his hand. He immersed himself in it and read the transmitted message. Can't help but let out a sigh. What are the orders from the family? Another person also opened his eyes and asked. The white-robed man said with a strange expression, "The 5th elder summoned us to get rid of a little girl who was brought here a month ago." Little girl? The other person frowned and said suspiciously, "How could the family pass such an order? Is there anything weird about that little girl?" "I don't know, the 5th elder didn't say it clearly." The white-robed man shook his head. "Since it's the 5th elder's order, then you should deal with it as soon as possible." "I'll just check here," another person urged. This text is provided by Breaking Dawn Update Group at E°A. Chapter 2064 Mine. After a brief discussion between the two, the white-robed man immediately stepped into the cave and stood on top of a magic circle. Immediately, he took out a few source crystals and put them into the grooves around the magic circle. As soon as the Fahue was pinched, the magic circle immediately started to operate. Accompanied by a buzzing sound and a slight fluctuation of space power, the man in white robe disappeared quickly. Seeing this, the other Zhang family martial artist guarding here withdrew his eyes and closed his eyes again to rest his mind. After about a stick of incense, a small beast suddenly landed next to a small slope 3 miles away from the cave, followed by Mo Xiaoqi and Yang Kai's figures. The little beast sniffed lightly with its nose forward, then squeaked. Mo Xiaoqi frowned, turned her head to Yang Kai worriedly and said, "Brother Yang, little bat said that Sister Ruoxi's breath disappeared in that cave." When Yang Kai heard this, his expression froze, and he quickly let out his spiritual sense to probe over there. After a while, he snorted slightly, "Spatial magic circle. There is a space magic circle in there." Mo Xiaoqi looked at Yang Kai with a surprised face when he heard that. Yang Kai nodded and said, "Yes, and it seems that it has just been used by someone, and there are some fluctuations of space power left around, and there is a Void King first-level warrior in the cave who is guarding. It seems that we have found the right place." Quote, "Shall we break in?" Mo Xiaoqi asked inquiringly. "Naturally." Yang Kai nodded. Suddenly, his expression changed, and he said in a low voice, "No, Ruoxi may be in danger." He suddenly realized that just after he inquired about the news from the Zhang family, someone here used the space magic circle. This is very likely to have something to do with the Zhang family. It might be possible to kill Zhang Ruoxi to silence her. Thinking about it this way, Yang Kai suddenly became nervous, and he didn't care about hiding any figure, and when he shook, he shot straight towards that side. In the cave, the Zhang family martial artist who was guarding this place was also very clever. The moment Yang Kai just made a move, he opened his eyes and saw a stream of light coming in front of him, and his expression changed drastically. As soon as he awakened the holy energy in his body, he stood up abruptly, looking forward with an unkind expression. But when Yang Kai's aura enveloped him, the Zhang family warrior immediately turned pale and exclaimed, "Dao Yuan. He is just a warrior at the first level of the Void King, and his own field has just been condensed, so how can he be against a strong man at the level of Dao origin?" When the words fell, Yang Kai had already come to him, and lightly pressed his palm on his chest. The man only felt a huge force coming from his chest, and the whole person fell back uncontrollably, bleeding countless in midair. After falling to the bottom, he was already unconscious. Yang Kai didn't kill him. After all, he still hasn't figured out the relationship between Zhang Ruoxi's situation and the Zhang family, so he couldn't bear to kill someone rashly. However, with his palming, the other party would be unconscious for at least several days, which was enough for him to find out everything clearly. Falling down, Yang Kai immediately turned his attention to the space magic circle that existed in the cave. Mo Shaoqi also followed at this time. After a while, Yang Kai couldn't help but let out a, "Huh." "Brother Yang, did you find anything?" Mo Shaoqi asked. This magic circle was not arranged by the Zhang family, nor was it recently arranged, it seems to be some years old. Yang Kai frowned. The space magic circle in the cave is old and mottled, with countless traces of the passage of time, obviously many years old. However, it has been hidden in the cave of this barren mountain, and it is basically unlikely to be discovered. I don't know how the people of the Zhang family knew about this place, and where they used it to teleport. Is there any secret hidden here? Mo Shaoqi suddenly became interested, her beautiful eyes glowed with a strange light, and she kept looking at the magic circle. Let's study it later. Yang was concerned about Zhang Ruoxi's safety, and didn't have the heart to investigate carefully, so he stood on the magic circle. Mo Shaoqi nodded, and walked in together. Yang Kai immediately urged the power of his own space and poured it into the magic circle. The next moment, the magic circle buzzed, and with the flash of light, the two disappeared together. I don't know how many feet underground, in a dark and humid environment, Yang Kai and Mo Shaoqi appeared leisurely. But before they checked their surroundings, they heard someone shout, "Who are you? How dare you break into my Zhang family's secret place?" After the words fell, two violent attacks, one from the left and the other from the right, came over involuntarily, and judging from the energy fluctuations of the opponent's moves, these two are both warriors of the Void King's third-layer realm. Yang Kai's eyes suddenly turned cold, he didn't even look at it, he just let out a loud shout, "Ning!" The power of the law of space was ups and downs, and the surrounding space suddenly became extremely solidified as if listening to orders. The attack that was able to bombard Yang Kai and Mo Shaoqi disappeared in a strange way, revealing two figures on the left and the right. The two of them didn't seem to expect that their blow would be deflected in such an unimaginable way, and they froze in place for a while. But immediately, the person on the left reacted, and shouted in surprise, "The power of the law, the power of Dao Yuan." While speaking, his feet touched the ground, and his whole body immediately floated backwards. He actually saw a bad opportunity and was about to run away. But how could Yang Kai let him do what he wanted? With a flick of the finger, a golden blood thread shot out, circled around this person, and bound him directly. Feeling the sharp aura emanating from the golden blood thread, the man's forehead was sweating profusely. How could he dare to make any changes? Fearing that it would be cut into several pieces if he was not careful, he stood up straight and looked at Yang Kai in horror. The other person also stood there dumbfounded at the moment. In front of him, Mo Shaoqi was holding a sharp dagger in his hand, with a cold light emitting from the dagger, it was pressing against the man's chest. Apparently, while this person was in a daze, Mo Shaoqi subdued him with thunder. Yang Kai glanced over the two of them with a cold expression. The person on the left trembled and said, "Who are you two? Why did you break into my Zhang family's secret place and attack me again? You don't need to know who I am, I'm here looking for someone, if you cooperate honestly, maybe I can spare your life." Yang Kai looked at him coldly, his tone serious. Looking for someone. When the man heard this, his brows frowned, and he looked at Yang Kai anxiously. A drop of sweat silently slipped from his forehead, and asked with difficulty, I don't know who you want to find. Is there a little girl named Zhang Ruoxi here? Yang Kai asked. The two Void King Realm warriors of the Zhang family looked at each other, and the person who spoke before said with a wry smile, I was just ordered to guard the entrance, and I don't know the names of those people. Brother Yang, there's no need to ask, the little bat has already smelled Sister Ruoxi's breath, and she is indeed here. At this moment, Mo Shaoqi suddenly cheered up. Yang Kai quickly looked over, and sure enough, he saw the flying sky dungeon bat's eyes sparkle, screaming in one direction, as if he had really discovered something. Here I leave it to you, the little bat will lend me a use. After Yang Kai finished speaking, he pointed at the two Void King third-layer martial artists from the air, and a few sources of power poured into the two people's bodies, and immediately let the two of them grunt together, and blood flowed from the corners of their mouths. Immediately, Yang Kai waved to the flying bat, and the little beast immediately flew forward. Brother Yang, be careful, there seems to be something weird here. Mo Shaoqi urged behind her back. Yang Kai nodded, without slowing down. Flying all the way, Yang Kai had time to carefully look at the surrounding environment. This place is like an underground mine. The mine extends in all directions, and there are countless branch roads. From time to time, there are tinkling sounds from the bottom of the fork roads, as if someone is mining something. It's just that the places Yang Kai passed by have all been mined, and there are only pieces of exposed rock. Following the little beast around, soon, Yang Kai entered a fork in the road. In that fork, Yang Kai felt the aura of many creatures. Not long after, with the dim light in the mine tunnel, many people in Yangkai were beating on the mine wall of the mine tunnel, and the gravel kept falling down. But what Yangkai cares about is that all of these people are only below the Saint King realm, and none of them are above the Void Return Mirror. All of them were handcuffed with special bracelets and anklets, and they made a rattling sound when they moved a little, making it impossible to hide their whereabouts. Perhaps aware of something, these people who were mining the ore all turned their heads to look at Yangkai. The pair of godless gazes made Yangkai's head sink. He didn't know how long they had been locked up here, let alone how long they had been mining minerals here. Each of these warriors below the Saint King realm seemed to be exhausted and ragged, only a few of them kept some energy. There were even a few rotting corpses on the nearby ground, filling the already poorly ventilated mine tunnel with a foul smell. Yangkai paused, stopped, glanced left and right, and said, "Who is the leader of you? Stand up and speak." Those martial artists were all silent when they heard the words, but you looked at me and I looked at you. Most of them had a look of fear in their eyes, as if they didn't dare to stand up at all. After a long while, a young martial artist stood up. This young man looked less than 30, with ragged clothes, revealing a strong body. Although his aura was a little weak, it was much better than others. This person stood still not far from Yangkai, cupped his fists and said, "Next Zhou Kong, dare to ask senior for advice." Although Yangkai looked about the same age as him, his cultivation base was much higher than him, so he took it for granted that Yangkai was an old monster who had lived for hundreds of years, and there was nothing wrong with calling him senior. "Who are you all? Why are you all here?" Yangkai asked in a deep voice. Hearing this, Zhou Kong couldn't help but glanced at Yangkai in surprise, then seemed to think of something, and excitedly said, "Isn't senior the Zhang family?" To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for it. Monthly ticket, your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 2065 Dead End. Zhang family. Yangkai snorted coldly, "No, I came here to find someone." Senior is really not from the Zhang family. Zhou Kang's voice suddenly raised a bit, as if he couldn't believe it, and now, even the other warriors looked at Yangkai with joy, their hazy and lifeless eyes blooming. There was light, as if seeing some hope in the darkness. "What did I lie to you for?" Yangkai shouted impatiently. "I believe in senior." Zhou Kong no longer dared to question, and shouted, "Since senior is not from the Zhang family, please save us from the sea of AA suffering. Senior, help, please, let us out." Suddenly there was a cry for help, and those martial artists who were shackled and restrained all looked towards Yangkai pleadingly. Zhou Kong said, "To be honest, seniors, most of us are scattered warriors without relatives and no reason, and some are members of small families. They were captured here by the Zhang family at different times to mine minerals for them. They resisted a little, I was punished, and some brothers even died. We can't bear to be tortured, it's miserable." What minerals are you mining here? Yang Kai frowned. It's this, senior, please take a look. Hearing this, Zhou Kong quickly took out something from the nearby basket and handed it to Yang Kai respectfully. Yang Kai took a look, and immediately snorted, pure heart jade. He recognized this thing. It is a kind of extremely rare jade, which can help warriors to purify their minds and spirits, and has extremely special effects. If warriors can wear a piece of this kind of thing when they are retreating to practice skills or break through the realm, can offset the harm of demons to a great extent. If you wear it all year round, there are also some unknown benefits. Because of this kind of jade is very expensive. A piece the size of a thumbnail costs 2,000 to 3,000 source crystals, and the piece that Zhou Kong picked up at random is the size of a palm, and at least it is worth 100,000 source crystals. Not to mention that the basket was filled with more pure heart jade. This place turned out to be a mine of pure heart jade. No wonder the members of the Zhang family acted so sneakily and did not want to be discovered. If such a huge benefit is known to other forces, the Zhang family alone will not be able to resist it, and even the city lord's mansion will definitely step in to share a share of it. However, mining this kind of thing must require some labor, and the Zhang family does not have enough labor, so they can only play other people's ideas. Those warriors who have been cultivated below the Saint King realm, have no relatives, no background, no backing, are the best candidates. Although Fenggalan City is not that big in the entire southern region, and the overall level of warriors is not high, there are as many people coming and going every day as crucian carp crossing the river. Someone will find out. People like Zhou Kong were caught in the mines to work hard in this way. Zhang Ruoxi obviously did the same. In a short period of time, Yang Kai figured everything out, and only then did he know why the Zhang family didn't want to disclose Zhang Ruoxi's whereabouts, but pretended not to know about Zhang Ruoxi when he went to the Zhang family to inquire. Not even when he sees the right conditions. It turns out that they dare not reveal the secret of this mine. Wanting to understand this, Yang Kai's eyes flashed coldly. Senior. Zhou Kong looked at Yang Kai carefully, not knowing what he was thinking at the moment. Leave the things, you can go. Yang Kai waved his hand. Ah, Zhou Kong was taken aback, looking a little at a loss. As soon as Yang Kai raised his hand, golden light danced in the mine for a moment, golden bloodshots shot out, and with a crackling sound, the bracelets and anklets that bound Zhou Kang's freedom were all cut in two. I said you can go, or do you want to stay? Yang Kai glanced at Zhou Kong, and without waiting for him to say anything, he just moved his hand and collected all the pure heart jade mined from the ground. After unlocking his space ring, he flew forward without stopping. After a while, cheers and excitement came from not far behind Yang Kai. Seeing that those bracelets and anklets were all cut off, how could those warriors have any doubts about Yang Kai's words? The impatient person has rushed towards the exit. By the way, senior, don't go deep inside, there are weird things in the innermost part. Zhou Kong was also delighted for a while, but as if he remembered something, he hurriedly shouted at Yang Kai. But where there are traces of Yang Kai, he didn't know where he went deep. Senior should have heard it, right? Zhou Kong tilted his head and thought for a while, and then he didn't have the heart to think about it anymore. It has been 2 full years since he was arrested by the Zhang family. He thought he would never be able to escape from this place in his life. I was going to die here, but I didn't expect to have the help of a nobleman today, and there will be a day when I will see the sun again. Excited, Zhou Kong hurriedly ran out, shouting loudly while running. After a while, the entire mine was boiling, and countless warriors who were caught here to mine minerals rushed to the emergency, venting their joy of regaining freedom. In the depths of the mine, Yang Kai followed the little beast and galloped forward, collecting all the Qingxin jade mined along the road, and at the same time used a little trick to cut off the bracelets and anklets of those miners. At the same time, somewhere in the deepest part of the mine, a slender figure was galloping in. Accompanied by her movements, there was a clattering sound, which was the sound of the impact of the bracelets and anklets that were handcuffing her. Xiao Xiao's body was in rags, his head was disheveled, his face was also pitch black, and his original appearance could not be seen at all. But from her eyes that kept turning her head back and showing panic, a trace of Zhang Ruoxi could still be discerned. Surviving in this mine is not easy. Since being sent here a month ago, Zhang Ruoxi has been exposed to the darkness and fear that she has never been exposed to in the past 10 years. Not to mention the harsh requirements of the Zhang family, they must dig enough minerals every day, otherwise they will be punished, and they say that the miners are not easy to mess with. After being caught here and tortured, the dispositions of those miners have changed. Suddenly seeing a little girl who is single and frail, naturally many people are very interested in her. It's also fortunate that Zhang Ruoxi has the cultivation base of the peak of the second-level Holy King, otherwise there is no way to gain a foothold here, and there is no bone left after being gnawed. After a few short-sighted guys coveted Zhang Ruoxi's beauty and wanted to touch her, but she gave her a hard lesson, no one dared to trouble her anymore. In order to avoid similar troubles, she deliberately made herself a person who was neither human nor ghost. Sure enough, no one had any interest in her anymore, and she was stable for a while. However, the work of mining the ore every day is also extremely arduous. Those Qingxin jades are embedded in the rocks, and it takes a lot of effort to mine them. In just 1 month, the little girl lost several layers of skin on her hands and feet, and her already plump body became thinner and thinner. After working every day, she would fall asleep with tears in her eyes and enduring the pain. When I wake up, I have to continue to endure the painful life again. She was spoiled and raised in the Zhang family since she was a child, and was regarded as the apple of the eye by the mistress of the Zhang family. Zhang Ruoxi never thought that there is such a dark place in this world. She missed her great-grandmother, her grandmother, and everyone in the Zhang family. Every now and then, another face flashed in front of her eyes. That's Mr. Yang, who has been kind to her Zhang family to rebuild, and Mr. Yang, who hasn't come back since going out half a year ago. She doesn't have much contact with her husband. Although she has been with him for a while, he has never made any demands on her, and he doesn't even need to serve him. He just let her live safely in the cave and practice daily. He even gave a precious panacea. She could feel that the husband was a good man and took good care of her. She practiced hard and didn't dare to slack off, because her husband said that she might need her help in the future, and she wanted to improve her cultivation as much as possible so as to repay his kindness. But now, sir, where are you? Zhang Ruoxi yelled in her heart, stumbling around in the mine tunnels, avoiding the pursuit from behind with the help of her familiarity with the mine tunnels. At this most dangerous juncture in her life, all she could think of was one person, and she hoped that that person would descend in front of her like a god descending from the mortal world, blocking the storm ahead and bringing her absolute safety. But she knew it was impossible, the mine was so hidden that no one would be able to find it. Bitch, you are doomed, try to escape, if you let me catch you, I will torture you all over the world. A devil-like roar came from behind. Zhang Ruoxi's tender body trembled violently, her heart was filled with great panic, she felt her feet were filled with lead, and she couldn't move anymore. The shoes had already been lost while fleeing, and her bare feet stepped on the cold and damp mine tunnel. The sharp stones pierced both feet bloody, and the pain was already numb. Zhang Ruoxi moved mechanically and ran towards the next corridor. Go! When she fell down and got up again, her eyes were suddenly blurred, and she almost passed out. Biting the tip of her tongue fiercely, Zhang Ruoxi felt a tingling pain in her mind. After identifying the directions around her, she gritted her teeth and rushed in one direction. There is a place that all miners dare not approach. There used to be a few guys who went there to mine, but never came back. Since then, no one dared to go there again. But now, that place of death has become her only hope of escape. In the silent mine tunnel, Zhang Ruoxi's rapid breathing could be heard, and she could even clearly hear her own violent heartbeat. In her chest, her heartbeat was like a drum, as if she was about to break out of her body. After running for a long time, Zhang Ruoxi suddenly paused, staring blankly ahead with a look of despair on her face. The front turned out to be a dead end, there was no way out. But at this moment, the sound of stomping footsteps came from behind. Step by step, like the god of death whispering in his ear, Zhang Ruoxi turned around with a pale complexion, her beautiful eyes were covered by black clouds, filled with despair, and she could no longer see a ray of light. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 2066. Didn't I kill it? Under Zhang Ruoxi's horrified gaze, the white-robed man from the Zhang family slowly revealed his figure. But at this moment, this martial artist at the first level of the Void King looked a little hideous. Whoever has such a huge disparity in strength, if the opponent hides and hides for a long time and almost fails to catch him, he will probably not be in a good mood. Looking up at the dead end in front of him, the man in white robe let out a deep and strange smile, and suddenly became happier, not as anxious as before. Instead, he approached Zhang Ruoxi step by step in a leisurely manner. Said, Baby maid, you are running away, let me see where you can go. Zhang Ruoxi's body was tightly pressed against the cave wall, her beautiful eyes were full of horror, she kept shaking her head as she watched the figures approaching her, her tender body trembling. This delicate appearance of hers, not only failed to get any pity, but even more stimulated the unknown dark side of the white-robed man's heart, which made his expression suddenly become excited, and he couldn't help sticking out his tongue licking the corner of his mouth, he looked like he was moving his index finger. The white-robed man looked at Zhang Ruoxi, his sharp eyes cast on the petite but increasingly plump body, an obscene light flashed in his eyes, and he let out an even creepier sneer. Don't come here. Zhang Ruoxi shook her head vigorously, shrunk her body into a ball, and pleaded bitterly. The white-robed man was unmoved, and the short distance of more than 10 feet was quickly drawn closer. When he got close, the man in white robe stretched out his hand and grabbed Zhang Ruoxi. At this moment, the weakness and pleading in Zhang Ruoxi's eyes disappeared in a flash, replaced by a kind of determination and boldness. Sheng Yuan fluctuated up and down, and she didn't know when there was a sharp weapon in the shape of a dagger in her hand. After pouring into it, one raised his hand and stabbed straight at the chest of the man in white robe. If their strengths were equal, Zhang Ruoxi might have more than half the chance of succeeding in this blow. But the gap in cultivation between the two is really too big. Even if Zhang Ruoxi's timing of her attack reached the peak in seconds, the white-robed man has activated his own domain the moment the holy energy in her body surged out. The prestige of the field is simply not something that a girl at the second level of the Holy King can resist. So the dagger barely pierced the white-robed man's chest 3 inches before being imprisoned there by an invisible force. No matter how hard Zhang Ruoxi tried, he still stagnated. Zhang Ruoxi was really desperate now, and looked up at the face that was close at hand. That supposedly handsome face now revealed the demonic sneer and sarcasm of 9 Nether Hell prison. Immediately, the white-robed man stretched out his hand, grabbed Zhang Ruoxi's hair, then held her head and slammed her head hard towards the cave wall. Bang! Zhang Ruoxi only felt a concussion in his head, the pain in his skull was unbearable, and there were stars in front of his eyes. You maidservant is quite courageous, how dare you sneak up on me? The man in white robe grinned grinningly. Very well, I wanted to give you a good time, but if that's the case, don't blame me for being cruel. While speaking, he stretched out his hand again, pinched Zhang Ruoxi's neck, and directly lifted her up, using his fingers slowly. Zhang Ruoxi made a humming sound, her feet moved wildly, and she struggled hard, but she couldn't get rid of the other party's restraint no matter what. Slowly, her breathing became difficult, her long eyelashes blinked quickly, and her vision slowly disappeared, up the color. Through a hazy perspective, Zhang Ruoxi seemed to see a figure rushing towards her in an extremely distant place. With the help of the dim light in the mine tunnel, she found that it was Mr. Yang who she had missed for a long time. The gentleman's face was full of anxiety at the moment, but his facial features were distorted for some unknown reason, becoming extremely terrifying, as if extremely angry. Great-grandmother once said that before a person dies, some inexplicable hallucinations will appear in front of his eyes, so it seems that this is also his own hallucination. Thinking of this in her heart, all the strength in her body quickly drained, and Zhang Ruoxi slowly closed her beautiful eyes. But at this moment, a ray of dazzling golden light suddenly shot over from there, causing the darkness in the mine to be dispelled in a short moment. The next moment, with a muffled groan, the big hand that was holding onto his neck loosened all of a sudden. After the restraint was gone, his body immediately fell to the ground. Before landing on the ground, Zhang Ruoxi clenched the dagger in her hand with a burst of strength she didn't know where it came from, she lowered her body and slammed forward. To her surprise, the dagger in her hand was inserted into the white-robed man's chest smoothly. After pulling it out, the blood was splashed all over Zhang Ruoxi's face. The warm and sticky feeling made her creepy. She just froze for a moment, then suppressed the fear in her heart, raised the dagger again, and stabbed fiercely at the white-robed man in front of her. Puff puffa. With every blow, the dagger went straight to the handle, and the blood sprayed from the wound quickly turned her into a bloody man. It wasn't until the white-robed man on the opposite side's eyes widened and fell down with an expression of disbelief that Zhang Ruoxi woke up like a dream, staring blankly at the corpse on the ground, and didn't recover for a long while. She couldn't figure it out no matter what. How could such a powerful person be randomly stabbed to death by herself? Ruoxi, not far away, came a low voice. Zhang Ruoxi shook her body and looked up, only to find that Yang Kai was standing there with a guilty expression on his face, looking at him quietly. Sir. Zhang Ruoxi couldn't believe her eyes, and cried out softly. Fearing that the figure in front of her was an illusion, she hastily reached out to wipe her eyes, but she had forgotten that her hands were covered with blood at the moment, and after wiping her eyes like this, her vision became blood red, which looked extremely terrifying. It was only at this moment that she looked down at her blood-stained hands as if she had come back to life. With a shock, she threw the dagger out, and her delicate body trembled violently. Seeing this, Yang Kai came to Zhang Ruoxi in a flash, stretched out his hand to hold her wrist, and whispered, "Ruoxi, are you all right?" Zhang Ruoxi raised her head slowly. Her originally clear beautiful eyes were covered with blood at this moment. After confirming that the person standing in front of her was indeed Yang Kai himself and not her hallucination before dying, tears overflowed from her eyes. Like a broken pearl, it keeps falling. Feeling wronged broke out. She shrugged her shoulders, choked up and said, Sir, Ruoxi killed, murdered, I killed, someone, sir, save me." Yang Kai stared at her quietly, frowning slightly. He could naturally see that Zhang Ruoxi seemed to have been greatly shaken at the moment. This kind of shock was not because of being hunted down by the man in white robe before, nor was it because of her narrow escape, it was because someone died at her hands. Even though that person was not a good thing, and even wanted to take her life at one point, Zhang Ruoxi still couldn't bear it when she really poked this person full of holes. After thinking about it carefully, Yang Kai understood a little bit. Zhang Ruoxi is only 16 or 17 years old now. She was in her cardamom years. She was pampered and raised in the Zhang family since she was a child. Although she practiced, she probably had never fought with a human being, let alone killed someone with her own hands. For a little girl like her, anyone's life is extremely precious. Now that there is a living life who died under her dagger, she naturally couldn't accept it in a short time. Yang Kai recalled the first time he killed someone back then, and he seemed to be extremely uneasy in his heart. This uneasiness and panic lasted for a long time before gradually disappearing, so that after killing more people, he felt nothing at all. But Zhang Ruoxi was different. The man in white robe should be the first person to die at her hands. Thinking of this, Yang Kai sighed, stretched out his hand to pull Zhang Ruoxi into his arms, patted her on the shoulder, and comforted her gently. "You didn't kill that person, he died in my hand. When you poked him with a dagger, he's already exhausted." Hearing this, Zhang Ruoxi's delicate body, which had been trembling violently, stabilized a lot, looked up at Yang Kai, and asked timidly, "Really?" "It's true, you see." Yang Kai stretched out his hand while speaking, and a golden blood thread suddenly shot out from the corpse on the ground and wrapped around his fingertips. "This is what I killed him just now." "I didn't kill it." Zhang Ruoxi stared blankly at Jin Shuixi. The panic in her beautiful eyes gradually dissipated, and she actually showed a look of relief. "You didn't kill me. Get a good night's sleep. When you wake up, everything will be fine." Yang Kai softly comforted him, while stimulating the source force slightly, pouring it into Zhang Ruoxi's body, and smoothing her body. Vibrating qi and blood. Perhaps because she let go of the burden in her heart, or because she was too tired, Zhang Ruoxi actually just lay in Yang Kai's arms, closing her beautiful eyes, and a gentle breathing sound came from her nostrils. Seeing that she was really asleep, Yang Kai sighed lightly and hugged her up. Swipe. There was a sound of piercing the air not far away. Yang Kai squinted his eyes, released his spiritual sense to investigate, and when he found out that the person who came was Mo Shaoqi, he stayed in place quietly. After a while, Mo Shaoqi appeared not far from Yang Kai. The flying bat squeaked and ran to Mo Shaoqi's shoulder. Mo Shaoqi glanced at Yang Kai, then at the bloody corpse on the ground, then at Zhang Ruoxi who was being hugged by Yang Kai, and asked, "Is this Sister Ruoxi?" Yang Kai nodded. "Are you all right? It came in time, and finally nothing happened, but I was too tired and fell asleep." "It's fine." Mo Shaoqi stretched out her hand and patted her towering chest. She also breathed a sigh of relief, but soon, she gritted her teeth. "Those people in the Zhang family are really hateful. Brother Yang, I've already found out what is going on here." "What's the matter?" "They dare to plunder and force those scattered warriors to secretly mine minerals for them. They are simply bastards." "I know a thing or two about this." Yang Kai's eyes flashed coldly, his expression was cold, and he laughed lowly in his mouth. "Zhang family, they really want to kill people to silence them. You wait." To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 2067 Surprise Change. Happy day. Xiao Mo is here to wish all book lovers a happy and painful Valentine's Day, and that all lovers in the world will finally get married. What happened to Zhang Ruoxi made Yang Kai feel a little annoyed. After all, I can be regarded as a strong person at Daoyuan level now, but because of negligence, I failed to take good care of a little girl, and was caught here to mine by others. I went to the Zhang family to inquire about news, but all the high-level members of the Zhang family lied in front of my face. That's all, the Zhang family actually wanted to kill people to silence them. How can Yang Kai endure this matter? He has secretly decided that after leaving here, he will go to Yang's house and turn Yang's house upside down. What about the Zhang family guarding the entrance? Yang Kai asked with a cold light in his eyes. It's still over there, Mo Xiaoqi replied, and there are not only the two Zhang family members here. I met some on the way here, and I used their methods to knock them out. As for those who were caught here, the people have been teleported through the space law circle. Yang Kai nodded slightly. After they go out, I think the Zhang family's affairs can't be hidden, and it's just convenient for me to go to the Zhang family to make a big fuss. In this way, it's not easy for the city lord's mansion to intervene in the management. Then shall we go back now? Mo Xiaoqi asked. Yang Kai nodded. After the two discussed it properly, they were ready to return to Fenggalan City, but at this moment, a sudden change occurred. A movement like a mountain shaking came from under their feet, causing Mo Xiaoqi and Yang Kai's expressions to change. At the same time, there was a crackling sound not far away. Yang Kai frowned, staring at the sound, and suddenly discovered that there were blood-colored lines on the cliff in front of him. Those lines looked extremely complicated, as if they were some kind of seal. The lines are constantly wriggling, and with the wriggling of these lines, more blood red is sucked past. Only then did Yang Kai discover that the blood red was the color of fresh blood, and the source was the corpse of the Zhang family's white-robed warrior who fell to the ground before. The seal pattern on the cliff is frantically devouring the blood flowing from the white-robed warrior at this moment. As the blood pours in, the blood-red seal pattern squirms faster and faster. What is this? Yang Kai's face changed greatly, and he looked forward in surprise. Mo Xiaoqi's expression also suddenly became solemn, staring at the seal, frowning tightly, as if he couldn't recognize what kind of seal it was for a while. But at this moment, the seal seemed to have swallowed enough blood. Those lines unexpectedly gathered in the center of the cliff in a flash, and a hideous and terrifying face emerged. The face opened its mouth wide, and a jet-black aura suddenly gushed out from the inside of the cliff. Yang Kai narrowed his eyes, instinctively feeling something was wrong. He hurriedly pulled Mo Xiaoqi, and retreated towards the rear. And those dark auras poured out from the seal continuously, and soon filled the mine tunnel, and Yang Kai could clearly feel the violent and bloody aura from the black aura. There was also a smell that was familiar to him. These black chi split out quickly, like black spirit snakes, swimming around non-stop. A stream of black air penetrated into the mouth and nose of the man in white robe who had fallen to the ground and disappeared soon after. But the next moment, something happened that made Yang Kai dumbfounded. The white-robed man whose upper body was riddled with holes suddenly opened his eyes, but at this moment his eyeballs were not black and white, but showed a strange black color, which looked terrifying extreme. At the same time, black lines suddenly appeared on the face, arms, and exposed skin of the man in white robe. Magic pattern, Yang Kai exclaimed in surprise. He is so familiar with these lines. In the Tongshuan continent, all the members of the ancient demon clan he saved had practiced this secret technique, and they could brand different shapes of magic lines on their bodies. And when he himself performed the enchantment secret technique back then, his own changes were very similar to the scene in front of him. Demon Chi. At the same time as Yang Kai said it, Mo Xiaoqi seemed to be aware of it and let out a coquettish call. As soon as the two of them finished speaking, the white-robed man stood up abruptly, his dark eyes turned and fixed on Yang Kai, and immediately he let out a stern voice, and rushed towards Yang Kai with a ferocious expression. The appearance of fear of death. Yang let out a cold snort, hugging Zhang Ruoxi with one hand, flicking 5 fingers with the other hand. Streaks of golden blood shot out suddenly. There was a loud scoffing sound, the sharp golden blood thread pierced the white-robed man, and was cut into several pieces by Yang Kai's flick. The corpses were scattered on the ground, and no blood flowed out. However, Yang Kai didn't feel the joy that he should have after succeeding, instead he frowned tightly. Because he could feel that after the man in white robe was demonized, his strength had actually improved a lot. Although he still solved it with a single face-to-face encounter, compared to when he was alive, the man in white robe is undoubtedly much stronger. Chi 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 chi. At this moment, the pitch-black aura filling the mine tunnel turned into pitch-black spirit snakes, shooting towards Yongkai and Mo Xiaoqi crazily, as if a cat smelled fish. No, let's go. Yongkai's complexion changed drastically, and at the same time he shouted sharply. He stretched out his hand to the front, and shouted in a low voice, "Exile." The power of the law of space fluctuated, and a black hole about the size of a round table slowly took shape. There was nothingness in the black hole, only chaos. But there were still more pitch-black spirit snakes rushing forward one after another. And from the mouth of the human face on the cliff, more jet-black aura spewed out. The space secret technique lasted less than 3 breaths of time before it shattered, and the black spirit snake-like existences broke through Yongkai's blockade and followed behind him extremely fast. Yongkai didn't need to look back. He knew that the situation was not good, and he didn't have the time to deal with those weird things. He urged the source force, wrapped Mo Xiaoqi up, and rushed towards the entrance desperately. After going around, the two soon arrived at the location they were teleported to before. There, the 2 Void King Realm warriors of the Zhang family still fell to the ground with pale complexions. Watching Yongkai and Mo Xiaoqi step onto the space magic circle, one of them opened his mouth, as if he wanted to say something, but he didn't. Can speak out. I don't know what method Mo Xiaoqi used to imprison them in place. Brother Yang, they're coming soon. Mo Xiaoqi looked back, only to see the countless black spirit snake-like existences behind them less than 30 feet away from the 2 of them, and her pretty face suddenly turned pale. Yongkai's face sank like water, and he quickly urged the power of space to pour into the magic circle. The next moment, the magic circle hummed, and the light bloomed. After the light dissipated, both of them disappeared. That pitch-black spirit snake-like existence rushed to the magic circle and flew into the air. However, these weird things wrapped up the 2 Void King Realm warriors of the Zhang family under one volume. The screams immediately came from the black air, and it sounded horrific, as if they had suffered some unimaginable torture. After a while, the screams stopped abruptly, and the 2 stood up from the ground together. Although their appearance had not changed, their aura was quite different from before. They exuded an extremely violent and dark aura from all over their bodies. Wrapped in black energy, magic lines appeared on the cheeks and arms, and the eyeballs also turned into pure black. The 2 looked at each other, and actually grinned ferociously, and one of them roared up to the sky, filled with endless joy and excitement, as if he had been imprisoned for thousands of years and was finally freed. The 2 of them are not the only warriors who have encountered this. In the mine, many Zhang family warriors who were stunned by Mo Xiaoqi before have also encountered this kind of thing. There are also some mine slaves who have not had time to escape from the mine. In a very short period of time, his breath changed drastically, and he seemed to have lost his original wisdom. Soon, the entire mine was filled with that dark atmosphere. At the cave in the barren mountain, light flashed, and Yongkai and Mo Xiaoqi appeared on the space magic circle with lingering fear. Beside the magic circle, the Zhang family martial artist who was fainted by Yongkai's method before disappeared strangely. Seeing this, Yongkai couldn't help frowning. His spiritual mind swept out, and suddenly showed a look of surprise. Brother Yang, what's wrong? Mo Xiaoqi looked at him suspiciously. Many people outside are welcoming us. Yongkai sneered. Mo Xiaoqi frowned slightly, and when she heard the words, she released her consciousness and immediately noticed it. Go out and have a look. Yongkai greeted her, and flew out of the cave first without fear, standing in midair. He glanced around, and saw that the surroundings were surrounded by warriors, and each and every one of them was extremely familiar. All of them were members of the Zhang family he had just met. I don't know when the news was leaked, and the Zhang family was dispatched in full force, and all the masters went here. Not far from the front, Zhang Lin, the head of the Zhang family, and many high-level officials looked at Yongkai coldly, looking very displeased. And in front of Zhang Lin, there was an old man in a soap robe standing there with his hands behind his back. He didn't reveal the slightest breath from his whole body. He looked like an ordinary person, but there was an indescribable majesty lingering around him. When some Zhang family warriors looked at the old man, their eyes were full of awe. Even Zhang Lin stood behind the old man with an extremely respectful look. Yongkai's expression moved, his eyes turned on the old man, and he immediately knew that this person should be the Dao origin realm expert of the Zhang family, Zhang Taisheng, the ancestor of the Zhang family. After all, there are not many Daoyuanjing powerhouses in Fenggalan City, but the names of Daoyuanjing are widely known to the warriors in Fenggalan City. At this moment, Zhang Taisheng looked at Yongkai indifferently. His eyes just turned around Zhang Ruoxi who was in his arms, and then looked away. It seemed to him that no one deserved his attention. Yang Kai chuckled lowly, smiling playfully. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 2068. It's a complete misunderstanding. Pill Master Yang. Zhang Lin stood up suddenly, looked at Yang Kai coldly, and said in an extremely bad tone, I didn't expect you to have some skills to find this place. Zhang looked down on you. Yang Kai snorted coldly. If you want others not to know, unless you do nothing. A cold light flashed in Zhang Lin's eyes, and his expression was very angry. He turned his head to look at Zhang Taisheng, and seeing the other party's expressionless expression, he took a deep breath and shouted loudly, Pill Master Yang, Zhang Maonian, you are also a talent, and I don't want to hurt you. If you can kill them all, if you can sign this soul contract in front of everyone in my Zhang family, I might not be able to spare your life. While speaking, he suddenly took out a simple piece of animal skin paper. Yang Kai fixed his eyes and found that the thing was very similar to the thing that comprehension took out, not only in shape and size, but also in the aura it emitted. Yang Kai immediately understood that this was the real soul deed, something from the Nether Soul Palace. The soul deed was researched by Yuewen Great Emperor, one of the 10 Great Emperors, and only the people in the Ghost Palace knew how to make it. Once a warrior branded his own soul brand or life imprint on the soul deed, then this soul deed would be perfect. It will exert a miraculous effect, restraining the warriors to fulfill the agreement in the contract. If they violate it, they will suffer the pain of soul devouring, and their souls will be wiped out. On that day, comprehension was not allowed to use a piece of soul deed in order to prevent Yang Kai from revealing the pill formula of Yuan Ning pill, but it made him feel distressed for a few days. After all, this thing is extremely precious, and each one is worth a lot. I don't know where the Zhang family got one, but they also took it out at this moment. Soul deed. Yang Kai showed a smile that was not a smile. Patriarch Zhang is so generous, this thing is very precious, don't you think it's too wasteful to use it on Yang? Zhang Lin said expressionlessly, for the sake of alchemist Yang, what is a soul contract? Yang Kai looked at him leisurely, and said, but I want to know what is written on this soul contract. Don't you know what Pill Master Yang wrote? Zhang Lin smiled slightly, it's nothing more than hope that Pill Master Yang will become a member of my Zhang family in the future, and refine elixir for my Zhang family. I'm afraid I can't agree to this kind of thing. Yang Kai shook his head slowly. Zhang Lin's complexion sank, and he sternly shouted, Yang Kai, don't make a toast and refuse to eat or drink fine wine. You have to sign this spirit contract today, and you have to sign it if you don't. It's up to you. A virtual king-level alchemist is extremely precious to a family like the Zhang family. If they didn't want to capture Yang Kai alive, how could the Zhang family and others alarm Zhang Taisheng, a powerhouse at the source level? And today the masters of the clan are almost all out, just to force Yang Kai to brand the soul on the soul contract. As long as Yang Kai submits, then the Zhang family can not only gain a void king-level alchemist, but also don't have to worry about him revealing the secrets in the mine. Hearing Zhang Lin's brazen words, Yang Kai couldn't help laughing. What a joke, hands and feet are on my body, I can do whatever I want, what can your Zhang family do to me? Zhang Lin was furious. Just when he was about to speak, the Zhang Taisheng who had been silent all this time suddenly opened his eyes, looked at Yang Kai indifferently, raised his hand, and stopped Zhang Lin's attempt to speak. He said indifferently, young man, if you think you have some skills, you don't know how high the sky is and how thick the land is. Today, the old man personally rushed here, which can be regarded as giving you a big face. Listen to them, you are a Void King level alchemy master, and the refined Yuan Ning pill is also of extraordinary quality. I cherish talents and don't want to take action against you. You obediently brand your own soul on this soul contract. What happened today, this old man will never happen. As for the girl in your arms and this companion beside you, I can also spare them from dying, but, the premise is that they must marry into my Zhang family as concubines. What, want me to marry into your Zhang family as a concubine? Yang Kai hasn't spoken yet, he has been standing on the sidelines with an indifferent face, but Mo Shaoqi, who seemed to be watching a good show, jumped up, looked at Zhang Taisheng with a face of shame and anger, and said coquettishly, you are old and disrespectful, so you can say shameless words. Presumptuous. Bold. A group of Zhang family warriors yelled at Mo Shaoqi with angry expressions, as if Mo Shaoqi had said something that shouldn't be said. Yang Kai chuckled, holding Zhang Ruoxi in his arms with one hand, pretending to dig out his ears with the other hand, tilting his head and asking Mo Xiaoqi, "Little Qi, why did I hear a mad dog barking?" Mo Xiaoqi glanced at him when he heard the words, nodded his head solemnly and said, "Yeah, it's still barking really badly." Hearing this, Zhang Taisheng narrowed his eyes, the cold light in his eyes flickered, and said in a deep voice, "Very well, the two juniors are really courageous. I haven't heard anyone talk to me like that for many years. There is a way in heaven, don't you go. You are pretending there. What are you doing pretending to be a ghost?" Yang Kai didn't wait for him to finish, and interrupted him impatiently, "Is it great to think that you are a Dao origin?" After the words fell, Yang Kai's figure suddenly blurred. Before the Zhang family could react, Yang Kai had already appeared not far from Zhang Lin. Zhang Lin was startled, and he couldn't help but fall back, and before he could make any other movements, Yang Kai stretched out his hand towards him. Zhang Lin was shocked. Without even thinking about it, he urged the strength in his body, clenched his fists, and slammed forward. Energy surged in the void, and there was a roar of a tiger, and a phantom of a huge tiger flashed out, opening its bloody mouth and biting forward. But this blow hit an empty space, and Yang Kai in front disappeared without knowing when. After Zhang Lin looked around with surprise on his face, he realized that Yang Kai had returned to the original place, as if he had never moved to death. In an instant, cold sweat dripped down Zhang Lin's forehead, and the faces of all the Zhang family members were also pale. "Xiaoqi, let's see if this is real." Yang Kai casually handed an item in his hand to Mo Xiaoqi, who took it and looked it over carefully. "Ah, my soul deed." Only then did Zhang Lin realize that the soul deed he had been holding in his hand had been snatched away by Yang Kai at some point. He stared at his empty hands in amazement, and then looking up and looking not far ahead, my heart suddenly sank to the bottom of the valley. "Daoyuan realm." Zhang Taisheng narrowed his eyes, and drank in a low voice. Yang Kai didn't use any power before, and he didn't check Yang Kai's strength carefully. He only thought that Yang Kai's cultivation was at the Void King realm level, but now that Yang Kai made a move, Zhang Taisheng saw the clue. After discovering this, Zhang Taisheng's complexion involuntarily became ugly. After all, he is only a Daoyuan first layer, and if Yang Kai's cultivation is equal to his, he will not have any advantage at all. This is completely different from what he had imagined before. He thought that it would be easy for him to deal with the two juniors by himself, and from the beginning to the end, he never looked directly at Yang Kai and Mo Xiaoqi. But until now, he didn't know that he was wrong. It was a big mistake. As a martial artist at the first level of Daoyuan, Yang Kai already has the qualifications to talk to him on an equal footing. And judging from the speed of his attack just now, if he wanted to kill other members of the Zhang family, he might have already succeeded. "That's right, Brother Yang, this is indeed the soul deed from Yuewen Palace. It's a good thing. You can put it away. It might be useful in the future." After Mo Xiaoqi checked it, he returned the soul deed. Gave it to Yang Kai. Yang Kai took it back and stuffed it into his space ring with an indifferent face. "Old man, I'm sorry. It turns out that your excellency is also a martial artist at the Daoyuan level. No wonder you have such great confidence." Zhang Taisheng's expression was no longer as relaxed as before, but with a dignified expression, and the corners of his mouth twitched slightly. Yang Kai sneered and said, "It's pretty quick to change your face. It's really shameless." Mo Xiaoqi also cast aside incessantly. Zhang Tai's performance before and after his birth was completely different, which really made Mo Xiaoqi look down upon him. Zhang Taisheng snorted coldly and said, "However, even if your excellency is in the Dao origin realm, you have to give this old man an explanation for today's matter, otherwise, you don't want to leave easily." Explanation. Yang Kai's face turned cold, and he said solemnly, "This statement should be given to me by your Zhang family, or should I give it to your Zhang family? Yang's friend was caught here by you for no reason, and he was tortured. Go to Zhang's house to inquire about the news. It's fine for you to hide it, but you want to kill people to silence it. If I didn't come in time, how could my friend survive? Do you still want to explain?" This. Zhang Taisheng was at a loss for words when he heard the words. He didn't expect Yang Kai's words to be so sharp, and he didn't know how to answer for a while. Pill Master Yang, Zhang Lin, as the head of the Zhang family, had no choice but to stand up at this moment, clasped his fists and said, "Pill Master Yang, calm down. This matter is a complete misunderstanding. He was bullied by Yang Kai just now, and walked in front of the ghost gate. How dare he look down on Yang Kai now, and his tone is not as arrogant as before, but with some smiles, he said bitterly, "This is really a misunderstanding." "What misunderstanding?" Yang Kai looked at him coldly, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, although his face was smiling, but there was no smile at all, instead it became more and more icy cold. "The person who caught me, you are telling me a misunderstanding now? Patriarch Zhang, do you think I'm a 3-year-old, or are you a 3-year-old? Zhang Lin looked sad, and said, "Pill Master Yang, I didn't know that this little girl belonged to you. If I had known this earlier, it would be too late to treat her as a guest of honor. How could I bring her here? She came from the mine. At last she is safe and sound, so why not stop here for today's matter? The deed of spirit and soul will be an apology from my Zhang family. Well, besides, in a few days, Zhang, there is another important gift from the family to Yang Danshi's residence." To be continued. This text is provided by the Dawn Update group at For High. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 2069, The First Battle of Daoyuan. "Oh, you can't do it, so you want to buy me?" Yang Kai sneered, "Can you be more shameless?" Zhang Lin's face froze, and he was extremely annoyed, but he didn't dare to get really angry because of the difference in cultivation. But Zhang Taisheng was furious, and shouted sharply, "Junior, my Zhang family has already given you enough face, don't bully others too much." "I'm bullying too much, you bite me." Yang Kai looked at him with disdain. The old man is so angry. Zhang Taisheng only felt the qi and blood in his chest churning, and he almost didn't spit out a mouthful of blood. He was furious, looked at Yang Kai fiercely, and shouted, "Boy, even if you were at the first level of Daoyuan environment, today this old man also wants to learn about your methods. What do you say so much, just hit it." Yang Kai shouted angrily, and the source power in his body surged crazily. "This old man has been promoted to Daoyuan realm for more than 100 years, how can a brat like you be compared?" Zhang Taisheng said coldly with a face full of complacency. "You haven't been able to break through to the next level in 100 years, your aptitude is too bad, isn't it?" Yang Kai was extremely disdainful. Zhang Taisheng was furious, and the source power in his body was also ups and downs, and he didn't want to say anything more to Yang Kai, lest he would be so angry that he would suddenly disappear in place with just one step, and the place where he was originally was even worse. There was a soft pop. Obviously it was because the speed was too fast, and the air was exploded. The next moment, he appeared in front of Yang Kai like a ghost, and shouted with a gloomy face, "This old man will let you see the strength of the century-old Daoyuanjing." While speaking, he floated lightly, and he seemed to be extremely freehand and pushed out a palm towards Yang Kai. In that palm, the power of Lao lingered, and before it was really pushed out, Yang Kai was surrounded by wild winds and whistling noises. Mo Xiaoqi, who was standing not far from Yang Kai, turned slightly pale, her chest heaved violently, and she seemed to be a little out of breath. Although Mo Xiaoqi has a mysterious origin, an extraordinary background, and his own strength is not uncommon, but after all, he has not reached the level of Daoyuan, and being oppressed by the power of Zhang Taisheng's law, he immediately felt a little difficult. However, she is also a person who has seen the world, and she will not be restrained by the power of some laws. With a coquettish drink, she violently stimulates the power in her body, and forcibly gets rid of the oppression of the power of laws. And at this moment, in front of Zhang Taisheng's palm, a giant palm with clear energy formed leisurely, pushing towards Yang Kai in an overwhelming momentum. The strong wind was blowing, Yang Kai's robe fluttered, Zhang Ruoxi's hair was flying in his arms. "You dare to show off your small skills?" Yang Kai snorted coldly. Before waiting for the opponent's law force to overwhelm him, he also mobilized the space law, forming a tight invisible protection outside his body, blocking the opponent's law suppression. The next moment, he raised his hand. The same huge energy palm formed in front of him and slapped Zhang Taisheng. The two energy palms were like gigantic giants, they collided together after one breath. Accompanied by a loud noise, the energy of the heavens and the earth suddenly became disordered, and the power of the shattered law splashed into the void, rushing towards the four poles. There was a hint of sneer on Yang Kai's face, but Zhang Taisheng shrank his eyes, showing a hint of shock on his old face, and whispered, "How could it be?" As soon as the words fell, his clear giant palm suddenly fell apart, and the palm that Yang Kai patted pressed down on him unabated. Zhang Taisheng's face changed drastically. He knew that this situation would happen. The biggest reason was that the source power in the other party's body was stronger and purer than his own. After all, this kind of ultimate move that directly stimulates the source force in the body, the quality and amount of source force are the competition. Seeing that Yang Kai was young, he thought that he had not been promoted to Daoyuan realm for a long time, and his own realm might not be stable. He must not compare himself with himself, a veteran powerhouse who has been immersed in Daoyuan realm for 100 years, but it is a trick. Under the circumstances, he discovered that his idea was wrong. Seeing that giant palm slapped him, Zhang Taisheng dared not to continue standing in place. He turned around in a hurry to avoid it, and went directly into the void tens of feet away, looking at Yang Kai with an ugly expression. Yang Kai didn't intend to take advantage of the opportunity to pursue, but still stood there, looking at Zhang Taisheng mockingly. That mocking smile pierced into his heart like a sharp thorn, making him feel uncomfortable. Damn it! Zhang Taisheng snorted. Under the gaze of so many people in the Zhang family, his old face couldn't bear it anymore. He gritted his teeth, reached out his hand to hold it in the void, and suddenly a big knife with a tiger's head appeared in the palm of his hand. That big knife is a Daoyuan level secret treasure. The blade is thick and engraved with many intricate patterns. On the handle is a lifelike tiger's head, which looks very powerful. He is obviously because the source power is not as good as Yang Kai, so he's thinking about relying on the power of the secret treasure. And this secret treasure is the Zhang family's township treasure. As a Daoyuan level treasure, only he can activate it, and it has been kept in his hands. Source force poured into the blade frantically. Zhang Taisheng stared at Yang Kai with a ferocious expression, expressing that he wanted to kill him quickly. Accompanied by an earth-shattering whistling sound, a phantom of a tiger suddenly sprang out of the blade, and as Zhang Taisheng poured in the phantom of the tiger became more and more solid. After a while, it becomes like a real monster. The body exudes an aura that can only be possessed by an 11th order monster. The gigantic tiger was 5 or 6 feet long, roaring towards the sky. With extraordinary momentum, Zhang Taisheng lifted up the secret treasure in his hand, slashed down fiercely, and shouted loudly, "Go!" The giant tiger immediately took a step forward, and its 2 scarlet beast pupils stared at Yang Kai tightly, rushing towards him like a thunderbolt. Yang Kai snorted coldly when he saw this. He didn't dodge or evade. He didn't even have the idea of offering a secret treasure. He just rushed towards the giant tiger with such a loud voice. Rampant. Seeing this, Zhang Taisheng yelled sharply, followed behind the giant tiger, and shot with a knife. His body was wrapped in the light of the knife, turning into a dazzling stream of light. After a while, the giant tiger came to Yang Kai, biting him with a tiger's mouth, and the fangs in the mouth were even clearly visible. Yang Kai hugged Zhang Ruoxi tightly with one hand, forming a fist with one hand, and in a blur, it turned into countless fist shadows, blasting on the giant tiger like a storm. Bang bang bang! A strong and rhythmic sound came out, and the giant tiger whimpered and screamed like a living thing. Its body twisted and deformed, and it disintegrated in less than 3 breaths. Seeing this situation, the faces of the members of the Zhang family who were paying close attention to this battle between Daoyuan realm powerhouses suddenly darkened. But the next moment, Zhang Taisheng, who was wrapped in the light of the knife, rushed to Yang Kai. The light of the knife suddenly became bigger, and suddenly turned into a giant blade with a length of more than 10 feet, and slammed down towards Yang Kai. Yang Kai twisted his body, avoiding this terrifying blow. The sword light cut on the ground, and a gully more than 5 feet deep appeared on the ground immediately. The soil was flying, and there was a burst of flying sand and rocks. Without waiting for Zhang Taisheng to make any further moves, Yang Kai punched fiercely, smashing into the light of the saber. A clear sound came out, accompanied by a muffled groan. Zhang Taisheng's figure suddenly appeared more than 10 feet away, but at this moment, his face was extremely ugly, with both hands holding a knife in front of him. On the body of the saber, there was a vague pit mark. Looking at the shape, it seemed to be punched out by a fist. The strength of your physical body. Zhang Taisheng looked at Yang Kai incredulously, his eyeballs trembling violently. The other party just relied on the power of a punch to beat his Daoyuan level secret treasure like this, and his spirituality seems to be a little damaged. How terrifying should such a person be physically? This is still human. Just when he was in a daze, Yang Kai flicked his 5 fingers with a sharp expression, and a series of dark moon blades came out like a torrential rain. Zhang Taisheng's face changed drastically, and he said in horror, "The power of space." After realizing that the dark moon blades were all condensed by the power of space, how could he dare to stay in place? Hastily used means to avoid it. But the moon blade followed closely behind him like a tarsal maggot, and his speed was so fast that he was really exhausted. Ha 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 ha, old dog of the Zhang family, what are you running for? You think you can escape if you run away? If you don't turn your Zhang family upside down today, this matter is not over. Yang Kai laughed and drank. He looked very freehand. On the other side, seeing this, a group of warriors from the Zhang family changed their expressions drastically. The old ancestor who they relied on after fighting Yang Kai for only 2 moves ran wildly like a bereaved dog, not only did not even have a chance to make a move, but even couldn't even retaliate, which made them immediately realize that this time I'm afraid the trouble is too big. Patriarch, an elder of the Zhang family said in a deep voice, let me help the ancestor together. Yes, others also echoed, the ancestor seems to be no match for this person. Zhang Lin's face was heavy, his eyes turned to the battlefield not far away, and then he looked to the other side, and said coldly, it's better to deal with her than to take the risk of helping Patriarch. Everyone was stunned, followed Zhang Lin's gaze, and saw Mo Xiaoqi standing there with a face of nothing to do, watching the battlefield leisurely, as if not worried about Yang Kai's safety at all. That's right, then Yang Kai appeared with this woman, there must be a lot of relationship, as long as he can catch her, is it afraid that Yang Kai won't be a fan? Zhang Chuhei's eyes lit up, and his eyes turned on Mo Xiaoqi's beautiful figure after a while, but when he saw the crescent-shaped birthmark on Xiaoqi's face, he couldn't help but sighed, as if feeling something. A group of members of the Zhang family met their eyes, and suddenly, Chi-Chi rushed towards Mo Xiaoqi. In the blink of an eye, a dozen Void King Realm powerhouses surrounded Mo Xiaoqi in an airtight manner. What are you doing? Mo Xiaoqi frowned, looking around with displeasure. Hey hey, Zhang Chuhei chuckled in a low voice, girl, don't you know what we are going to do? If you are sensible, just cooperate obediently, so as not to accidentally hurt the girl later, if that's the case. Ida not good. This text is provided by the Breaking Dawn update group at E°A. Chapter 2070 Stabbed a Hornet's Nest. Hearing the words, Mo Xiaoqi suddenly became a little stunned, looked at the members of the Zhang family with contempt, and said, you want to bully the few with more. Quote. Zhang Lin frowned, coughed lightly and said, you have to, girl, don't blame me. Patriarch, what are you talking about with her, just do it together. If she dares to resist, don't blame me for being ruthless. An old Zhang family member sternly shouted. You guys are too shameless, I'm just a little girl. Mo Xiaoqi shouted angrily. On the battlefield, there are no girls or big girls. If you want to blame, you can blame that Yang Kai. Zhang Chuhei seemed to have a lot of resentment towards Yang Kai, and this kind of twisted thoughts were passed on to Mo Xiaoqi, which led him to blame Mo Xiaoqi. Also not at all polite. Are you really going to do something to me? Mo Xiaoqi looked warm and angry, and looked at Zhang Chuhei with gritted teeth. Ha, do you think Master Ben is joking with you? Zhang Chuhei sneered. At this point, he flipped his wrist, and suddenly a secret treasure long sword of Zhuang quality appeared in his hand. The sword shook and stabbed towards Mo Xiaoqi. In an instant, the sound of the sword groaned, the source of power appeared, and the sword pointed at it, and the sword blossomed, almost covering Mo Xiaoqi's whole body. A playful expression appeared on Mo Xiaoqi's pretty face, she was standing there with no intention of dodging, but glared at Zhang Chuhei, and then unhurriedly sacrificed something, urging the body's internal energy to pour into it. With a puff, the secret treasure sacrificed by Mo Xiaoqi grew bigger leisurely, covering her directly without any gap. This secret treasure is in the shape of a sphere, showing a light blue color, and the surface is shimmering, like a layer of water curtain, clear and as thin as a cicada's wing. From the outside, Mo Xiaoqi seemed to be surrounded by a water polo at the moment. This secret treasure is not something else, but it is the weak water beads that Mo Xiaoqi used in Yuqing Mountain at that time. The weak water drop can even imprison a phoenix larva, which shows how powerful it is. And Mo Xiaoqi is very flexible at this moment, the weak water drops that were originally used for confinement, seem to be activated by her as a defensive treasure. The effect is obviously not bad. The moment the secret treasure appeared, Zhang Lin's eyes shrank, and he suddenly shouted, Dao Yuan level secret treasure. As soon as this remark came out, the eyes of many long-term old deacons of the Zhang family became hot. Zhang Chuhei's long sword pointed at the water curtain, but unexpectedly, his blow had no effect at all, it just shattered the water curtain that seemed to be easily broken. It just sank a little bit inward, and then bounced back abruptly. Not only that, even the power of the attack seemed to bounce back to Zhang Chuhei. The leader of the new generation of the Zhang family didn't check for a while, but he couldn't completely resolve it. he couldn't help but let out a strange cry, stepped back a few steps, his face paled slightly, and his expression became shocked. It's also fortunate that he didn't use all his strength in his attack just now, otherwise he would have been seriously injured just by this one attack. I'm afraid this little girl has an extraordinary background, so you don't have to worry about it. Zhang Lin lowered his eyes and let out a low shout. If it was an ordinary Void King realm, how could he sacrifice a Daoyuan level secret treasure as soon as he made a move, and it was also a defensive secret treasure? You must know that there are so many Void King level treasures in the Zhang family, but none of them have their own Daoyuan level secret treasure. Only those who come from rich backgrounds can get rewards from the elders, and thus have 1 or 2 Daoyuan level secret treasures in their hands. When Zhang Chuhe made a move before, Zhang Lin was somewhat self-reliant and didn't want to do it together, so as not to be said to be bullying the younger, but now that the opportunity is not good, how can he hesitate? As soon as the words came out, he pinched the Ling Ju with one hand, and walked a little forward with one hand. With a soft puff, a stream of light shot out from his fingertips, and instantly hit the water curtain of weak water droplets. At the same time, the other elder deacons of the Zhang family also started to do it one after another. All of a sudden, the brilliance of various martial arts secret treasures bloomed, and they all attacked Mo Shaoqi. However, all the attacks came back in vain. The weak water droplets enveloping Mo Shaoqi just kept changing their shapes, dispelling those attacks one by one and magically rebounding back. Seeing this scene, a group of Void King realm warriors from the Zhang family changed their complexions and hurriedly hid. Mo Shaoqi hid in the water curtain of weak water droplets, with a long pretty face that could almost scrape off a layer of frost, gritted his teeth and shouted coquettishly, "You guys are really bullying the few with the more you are, shameless, I will fight with you." Shaoqi girl was like a child who had been bullied and lost her temper. As soon as she finished speaking, she reached out and patted the small cloth bags hanging on her waist. The small cloth bags were bulging, and no one knew what was inside them. Even if the members of the Zhang family had discovered something earlier, they would not have cared. But at this moment, a scene appeared that made their eyes pop. Following Mo Shaoqi's movements, one after another, monsters of different shapes and sizes suddenly sprang out of those cloth bags like gods descending from the earth. Silver-haired liger. As soon as this beast appeared on the stage, it raised its head to the sky and roared with great power. It opened its mouth wide and exposed its fangs, which made everyone in the Zhang family retreat again and again in horror. The beast power of the 10th level peak monster beast can be seen at a glance. Then, the flying bat appeared, the red fire unicorn appeared, and soon, another pitch-black giant dragon with a body length of more than 10 feet and 2 horns growing on its forehead, which seemed to have the shape of a real dragon, also appeared. The giant dragon squatted around its body, surrounded Mo Shaoqi in the middle, raised its head and puffed out its scarlet snake core, looking extremely unfriendly, but the black dragon's pupils were light blue. The color is extremely weird. Blue-eyed ink-scaled flood dragon. Immediately, the elder Yang's parents exclaimed loudly. Tang dang tang. A group of Zhang family warriors took several steps back again and again, looking at each other in astonishment, staring at the extremely rare but powerful monsters with disbelief. Not to mention the small flying bat, the silver-haired liger, the red fire unicorn, the blue-eyed ink-scale dragon, which one is not a monster that is almost extinct. It is impossible for ordinary warriors to see it outside. The reason why these monsters are about to become extinct is because they all bear the blood of some ancient beasts. This kind of bloodline is extremely difficult to pass on. With the passage of time, these monsters with the bloodline of ancient alien beasts become rarer and rarer from generation to generation, and eventually they are almost extinct. The reason why the elder of the Zhang family recognized the blue-eyed ink-scaled dragon was also because he wanted to practice a secret technique that required the essence and blood of the ink-scaled dragon, so he inquired many times. Unfortunately, he spent 10 after years of hard work. He failed to find any traces of this kind of ink dragon, and finally had to give up practicing that secret technique. He never expected that after so many years, another blue-eyed ink-scaled dragon suddenly appeared in front of his eyes. These monsters are extremely difficult to provoke because of the blood power of ancient alien beasts, and they can often display strengths beyond their own level. No problem. In other words, the true strength of these monsters in front of them had to be upgraded to a higher level before they could be correctly evaluated. And now, 10th level peaks. Are they all 10th level peaks? What monsters are these? Where did it pop out? What's the origin of this little girl? A group of Zhang family warriors exclaimed, the soles of their feet were about to cramp. I thought that Mo Xiaoqi was alone, with only the Void King realm cultivation base, which was obviously a good breakthrough, and he was going to take her down to restrain Yang Kai. Who knew that he would stab at the hornet's nest all of a sudden? Zhang Lin's face was even paler and bloodless. As the head of the Zhang family's generation, how could he not guess that his head had provoked someone who should not be provoked this time? He originally thought that Mo Xiaoqi had some background, but when he saw the other party summoning 4 10th level peak monsters to help out, he immediately understood that Mo Xiaoqi had some background. It was clearly a huge background. It's not something a small family like his Zhang family can provoke. As the head of the family, he was naturally more worried than others. Moreover, he looked at the small cloth bags around Mo Xiaoqi's waist, and seemed to vaguely remember something, but he couldn't think it through. While the Zhang family was in a daze, Mo Xiaoqi had already gritted his little silver teeth, and said angrily, "Little silver, little red, little black, teach me a lesson for these shameless guys. Dare to bully me together. Little silver, little red, little black." When the Zhang family heard this, they were startled, and cold sweat dripped from their foreheads. 3 rare monster beasts with the bloodlines of ancient beasts at the top of the 10th rank were given such simple and ridiculous names. Normally, the Zhang family would really laugh out loud, but at this moment, they all wanted to cry. Roara a, hoo hoo, hiss. The 3 monsters seemed to have understood Mo Xiaoqi's order, and responded with strange noises. The silver-haired liger roared, and its huge body several feet long showed extraordinary agility at this moment. It rushed into the camp of the Zhang family with a single leap, and raised its powerful front paws towards sweep past. With a sweep, the gust of wind suddenly rose, almost changing the color of the sky and the earth. How dare the Zhang family welcome them? They all screamed and avoided. But the red fire Qilin opened its mouth wide at this moment, and a group of scorching and red fireballs rushed forward like a storm. Those fireballs were at least the size of a millstone, and contained extremely terrifying power of fire. The fireball bombarded the ground and melted the ground. The Zhang family was terrified when they saw it, and they kept away from it, fearing that they would be contaminated in the slightest. And the blue-eyed ink-scaled dragon also took advantage of the situation, and suddenly a layer of pitch-black aura filled the surface of its body, turning into a black cloud, rushing into the battlefield like the wind, covering the 3 Zhang family Void King realms. After a while, the sounds of fighting and hissing came from within the black cloud. Mo Xiaoqi stood securely in the water curtain of weak water droplets, holding the flying bat in his arms, combing its hair slowly, looking at the chaotic battlefield, and whispered faintly, "It seems to be an occupant. I can't get any advantage. Should I call out Xiao Bai, Xiao Huang, Zhao King and Xiao Lu?" Everyone in the Zhang family. To be continued. This text is provided by the Breaking Dawn Update group at AC plus or minus a degree a diaresis T. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 2071 The Lost Dog. Although the 3 10th level peak monsters are extraordinary, the Zhang family also has a lot of Void King realm powerhouses, and many of them are at the Void King 3rd layer level, so the fight was evenly matched between the 2 sides. However, after hearing Mo Xiaoqi's words, everyone in the Zhang family felt a little thumping in their hearts, and couldn't help but look at each other across the air, choking with speechless tears. The 3 monsters alone made them restrain their hands and feet. If Xiao Bai, Xiao Huang, Zhao King, and Xiao Lu made a grand appearance again, the Zhang family would not have the power to fight back. But at this moment, Zhang Lin suddenly remembered something. While avoiding the onslaught of the red fire unicorn, he looked at the small cloth bag on Mo Xiaoqi's waist in horror, and said in surprise, "Spirit Beast Bag. Miss, are you people from Spirit Beast Island?" Until now, he finally remembered the origin of those small cloth bags. Although these small cloth bags are inconspicuous, they are unique products of Spirit Beast Island. Only the strong in Spirit Beast Island can use secret techniques to make such a device that can accommodate monsters. Moreover, Spirit Beast bags are never sold out, and it is impossible for others to get one. On the other hand, Mo Xiaoqi has a lot of bags hanging around her waist. If she has nothing to do with Spirit Beast Island, how can she get such a bag? Doraemon bag. And Spirit Beast Island is a well-known existence in the entire Star world. Although it is not as large as the Star God Palace and the Ghost Palace, and has many disciples, it is also a transcendent force. Without him, the owner of the Spirit Beast Island, or the owner of the island, is one of the top 10 emperors who can't see the head of the dragon, the Beast Warrior Emperor. Rumor has it that there are many monsters that are rarely seen by the outside world on the Spirit Beast Island, and even the ancient holy spirits have settled there, and there are countless birds and beasts on the island. So even though the Spirit Beast Island was just an island, Emperor Beastwu didn't open up his doors to recruit disciples, but the deterrent power of the Spirit Beast Island in the Star World was no less than that of the Ghost Palace and the Star God Palace, which also had 10 emperors sitting there. However, the Spirit Beast Island is in the boundless sea of the far eastern region. It is hundreds of millions of miles away from the southern region. Zhonglin did not connect Mo Shaoqi's identity to the Spirit Beast Island at first. But as the head of the family, after seeing the many miraculous methods that Mo Shaoqi has displayed at this moment, where is he still not guessing? Miss, what is the relationship between the old man and you? Zhonglin saw that Mo Shaoqi didn't answer, and asked again in a hurry. After all, as far as he knows, Spirit Beast Island does not recruit disciples widely. Those who can live on Spirit Beast Island are all people who have some relationship with Emperor Beastwu. If Mo Shaoqi is really from Spirit Beast Island, then she must their relatives are only a few disciples of Emperor Beastwu. How could the Zhang family provoke such an existence? It's almost as good as enshrining her as an aunt. Mo Shaoqi just stood in the water curtain of weak water droplets, hugging the little bat with one hand, stroking it with the other hand, raising his eyes to the sky, as if he didn't care. After hearing Zhonglin's words, the expressions of the other Zhang family members also changed drastically. They all felt a chill hit their foreheads. How could they have any intentions to deal with the attacks of those monsters? With such a move, the balance was immediately broken. First, an elder of the Zhang family didn't pay attention, and was hit by a ball of fire from the red fire unicorn. He screamed on the spot and was melted immediately, and then another deacon of the Zhang family was slapped to pieces by the silver-haired liger. Cakes, blood splattered all over the ground, the death was horrible. From the black cloud transformed by the blue-eyed ink-scaled dragon, another figure flew out. Before landing, the figure had lost its breath. When it hit the ground, it tilted its head and lay there forever. In the blink of an eye, the 3 Zhang family Shu King realm died unexpectedly. Seeing this, Zhonglin's eyes were red, and he swept away the fear and worry in his heart, and sternly shouted, "Girl, no matter what relationship you have with Emperor Beastwu, since you have torn your face today, then either you die or we die." As soon as the words came out, the expressions of the other Zhang family members were shocked. Everyone knows that there is no other way but to fight desperately now, not to mention that this blood feud has already been forged, but to say that Mo Shaoqi's background is not something they can provoke. If they can't kill Mo Shaoqi today, then there will be no place for the Zhang family in the entire Star World in the future. Mo Shaoqi doesn't even need to do it herself. She only needs to let the wind out, and there will probably be countless strong people scrambling to get the heads of Zhang family and others for her. There are not many opportunities to sell well to Spirit Beast Island. After calming down, the members of the Zhang family regrouped and turned their disadvantages back. But at this moment, the result of the Dao Source Realm War over there seemed to have come out. With a scream, Zhang Taisheng and Yang Kai's entangled figures in midair were instantly separated. Yang Kai looked leisurely, but Zhang Taisheng, who was standing not far in front of him, was pale and bloodless, with a trace of blood spilling from the corner of his mouth, as if he had suffered serious injuries. This 100-year-old Daoyuanjing powerhouse had already lost all his strength in fighting Yang Kai in less than half a cup of tea. He looked at Yang Kai with extreme resentment and disbelief, never thinking that he was not the opponent of this young man. Turning his head to look down again, Zhang Taisheng's face suddenly sank. With his eyesight, he couldn't see that these descendants from his family were also in trouble, and he couldn't count on them at all. Perhaps here today, the centuries-old foundation of the Zhang family will be ruined. Thinking of this, Zhang Taisheng's face darkened, he glared at Yang Kai angrily, and sternly shouted, "Junior, this old man is going to die today, and I will drag you to be buried with him." Speaking up to this point, as soon as he stimulated the strength in his body, his pale old face turned a lot of red. At the same time, he bit the tip of his tongue and spurted out a mouthful of blood. Yang Kai's face sank, realizing that the other party was really going to fight him hard. Although he has the confidence to kill Zhang Taisheng, but the other party is at the Dao origin realm anyway, and he should not be underestimated if he really wants to fight for his life, not to mention that he is still holding Zhang Ruoxi in his arms, and he is restrained when he moves, so Yang Kai arranges it carefully. He took a defensive stance, lest this old guy really want to use some means of killing each other. The next moment, Zhang Taisheng was surrounded by a cloud of blood mist, and his figure could not be seen at all. Immediately afterwards, the blood mist flickered and disappeared in place, turning into a beam of rainbow light, and fled in the opposite direction of Yang Kai. Yang Kai was stunned, and was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Zhang Taisheng's slogan to be so loud and sonorous, and he really wanted to fight Yang Kai even if he died, but in the end, it was just a cover for escape. Old treacherous and cunning, Yang Kai cursed angrily, his eyes were full of contempt, and at the same time hurriedly mobilized his own space power, mobilized the law of space, pointed at Zhang Taisheng's bloody place from a distance, and shouted in his mouth, "Bundle." The blood light paused slightly, but it was only for a moment, and soon broke through the blockade of the power of law, and fled forward at a faster speed. After all, Zhang Taisheng is also a Dao origin realm powerhouse, and Yang Kai mobilized the power of laws from such a long distance, how could he trap him? After breaking away from the shackles of the law of space, he turned around and plunged directly into the barren mountain cave, and soon disappeared. This old thing, Yang Kai immediately understood Zhang Taisheng's intentions. He obviously lost to him and suffered some injuries, so he didn't want to rely on speed to escape. If he really did this, he would definitely not be able to escape Yang open pursuit. Yang Kai, who understands the power of space, has an absolute advantage in tracking and escaping. So Zhang Taisheng put his mind on the space law formation in the cave. As long as he teleports away through the space law formation, even if Yang Kai has great abilities, he can't catch him. Zhang Taisheng really made a good plan, and he succeeded as he wished. When he entered the cave, within 2 breaths, the aura of his whole body suddenly disappeared, replaced by a wave of weak space power fluctuating ups and downs. This wave of power fluctuated naturally because Zhang Taisheng used the space magic circle. On the other side, when everyone in the Zhang family saw this, their hearts turned cold. They fought life and death here, tried their best, and even lost 3 of them for this, just because they wanted to help their ancestors. Unexpectedly, at this critical juncture, their ancestors abandoned them without hesitation, and ran away alone without even saying hello. They didn't have much confidence in defeating Mo Shaoqi, and now that Yang Kai's Dao origin realm has freed up his hands, if everyone in the Zhang family stays, they will undoubtedly seek their own death. So Zhang Lin shouted decisively, "Let's go." Everyone hastily withdrew from the battle circle and frantically ran towards the barren mountain cave. They thought the same as Zhang Taisheng. Since they couldn't escape Yang Kai, they could only rely on the power of the space law circle. As long as they could teleport away, they could escape. To their surprise, Yang Kai didn't intend to stop him at all, but stood in the air calmly, watching them flee. It's just that the playful smile on the corner of his mouth made Zhang Lin wary of Dasheng. But the other Zhang family members were overjoyed and scrambled into the cave, crowding the small cave to the brim. A piece of source crystal was quickly thrown into the grooves around the magic circle by an elder of the Zhang family. When everything was in order, he immediately stimulated the power to activate the operation of the magic circle. However, nothing happened. While everyone in the Zhang family waited anxiously, the space magic circle that was supposed to start functioning immediately turned out to be like a dead object, making no sound at all, let alone teleporting everyone away. "What's going on?" Zhang Chuhei asked in shock. The magic circle didn't respond. The old Changbai replied with a pale face. "How come there is no response? Let me try." Zhang Chuhei did his part while speaking, urging his strength to pour into the magic circle like the old man. But the result is still the same. The space magic circle seems to have lost its effect, and it doesn't work at all. A figure suddenly appeared at the entrance of the cave, let out a strange laugh, and walked in step by step. To be continued. This text is provided by the Breaking Dawn Update group at AC ± a degree a diaresis T. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 2072. Everyone in the Zhang family suddenly turned ashen, and turned their heads to look at Yang Kai, who was gradually approaching like a god of death, and their whole bodies were shrouded in cold. Everyone suddenly realized that a wrong choice made them caught by Yang Kai. Very good, it's all blocked here, and it saves me from chasing them one by one. Yang Kai stood still not far in front of the Zhang family, looking at them leisurely, with a half-smile expression on his face, said in the mouth, "Your ancestors, it seems that they are not very kind." As soon as these words came out, Zhang Lin felt as if he had been hit in the chest by an invisible sledgehammer. His face flushed suddenly, he opened his mouth and sprayed out a bloody arrow, and immediately looked up to the sky and cried out, "I hate." The faces of the other Zhang family members were all ashen, with complicated and embarrassed expressions. At this time, how can everyone not understand that the reason why the space magic circle under their feet cannot function has a lot to do with the ancestor destroying another space magic circle on the other side? The magic circle in the cave and the one in the mine are connected to each other, and only when both are intact can they be teleported to each other. But as soon as Zhang Taisheng teleported away, there was a problem with the magic circle here, obviously because of his actions there. It is not difficult to understand that he would do this, he just wanted to hinder the pace of Yang Kai's pursuit, but it ruined the escape of the other members of the Zhang family. As the patriarch of the clan, how can one not be chilled when he only cares about running for his own life in times of crisis but disregards the lives of his clan? In desperation, Zhang Lin looked at Yang Kai in dismay, and said in his mouth, "Pill Master Yang, since the matter has come to this, if you want to kill or cut, let's listen to the respect." He still has some backbone, and he didn't plan to beg for mercy when he was facing a desperate situation, but he wanted to die. He was probably heartbroken by his ancestors' actions, and he no longer had the idea of continuing to live. But even though he thought so, the rest of the Zhang family didn't think so. Hearing what Zhang Lin said, the faces of the elders of the Zhang family couldn't help flickering, and the leader of the new generation, Zhang Chuhe, was even more frightened. He hurriedly took a step forward, looked at Yang Kai with a flattering expression, and begged urgently, "Pill Master Yang, Zhang had no eyesight before and offended Pill Master Yang, please don't care about me like me. Now that Zhang has repented, he will definitely change his ways in the future, follow Pill Master Yang, and do the work of a dog." "Oh," Yang Kai raised his eyebrows, showing a look of great interest. "You beast." Zhang Lin was already sluggish with anger and blood, and now he was stimulated by Zhang Chuhe, and the situation became worse. He almost fainted. He forced himself to poke Zhang Chuhe's cheek backbone, said in grief and indignation, "You greedy rat who is afraid of death, you pretend to be a member of my Zhang family." Zhang Chuhe turned his head abruptly, and said sharply, "Don't be so wordy, old man, even the ancestors have abandoned us, so I still have to seek my own death. I, Zhang Chuhe, am still very young and have a bright future. I don't want to die here for no reason. If you are still sensible, hurry up and join Pill Master Yang. Pill Master Yang has a kind heart, so it may not be impossible to save your life." "That's very good." Yang Kai smiled slightly, looked at Zhang Chuhe approvingly, and said, "A person who knows current affairs is a hero, not bad." Zhang Chuhe hastily turned his head, changed into a flattering expression, bowed slightly, and said with a flattering smile, "Pill Master Yang is absurd. But I really hate people who are greedy for life and afraid of death." Yang Kai's face suddenly turned cold. Zhang Chuhe's smile suddenly froze on his face. "Okay, I don't need to talk nonsense. Originally, I didn't intend to kill your Zhang family. I only planned to punish the culprit. But since this blood feud has been forged, then, everyone, go all the way." While speaking, Yang Kai his expression gradually turned cold, and his killing intent was like a wave. He slowly stretched out a hand and pushed towards the members of the Zhang family. The faces of the Void King Realm group of the Zhang family changed drastically, and they instinctively wanted to resist, but they were shocked to find that the surrounding space had solidified at some point. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't move an inch. Not only that, even the power in their bodies was also stagnant in the air. In the meridian, there is no way to stimulate it. The power of law. Everyone in the Zhang family turned ashen for a moment, watching Yang Kai's palm move forward, and the breath of death rushed towards them. And at this moment, a sudden change occurred. The earth suddenly buzzed without warning and trembled violently. After only a short while, there was a burst of crackling sound from all directions. The sound was deafening, as if the end was coming. Yang Kai's complexion changed, and his divine sense was released. After realizing the changes around him, even the Zhang family didn't have time to deal with it. With a shake of his figure, he disappeared into the cave, and appeared in Moshao the next moment. Around 7. Shaoqi had already put away his monster, and was floating in midair with a solemn expression. After seeing Yang Kai appear, she hurriedly said, "Brother Yang, it seems to be that." "I know, let's go." Yang Kai interrupted her words, urged Yuanli, wrapped her up, and hurriedly fled towards the distance. At the same time, in the cave, a group of members of the Zhang family narrowly escaped death, and everyone was a little bit surprised. I don't know who shouted that something is wrong, and everyone rushed out of the cave. After staying outside and looking around, the members of the Zhang family were stunned. I saw that the land with a radius of thousands of miles was undulating violently like waves, as if something was wreaking havoc underground. Accompanied by this violent undulation, a series of canine-toothed ravines suddenly appeared in the field of vision, innumerable in number. I don't know how far it stretches. And from that gully, a pitch-black breath filled the air. These auras quickly decomposed into strips that looked like black spirit snakes, wandering around. The world was soon filled with such things. Everyone in the Zhang family was surrounded by this black aura just in a daze. What is this? An elder of the Zhang family yelled in horror. He could feel the uneasy taste from these black breaths. That feeling seemed to trigger all kinds of negative emotions in the deepest part of his heart. His eyes became red, and his breathing suddenly became short of breath. Demon energy. Not good. Go. The Zhang family yelled and mobilized their strength one after another, trying to use their means to escape from this place, but how could there be time? Those black spirit snake-like existences, like living creatures, rushed over from all directions, enveloping everyone in the Zhang family tightly. The body-protecting power of many Zhang family warriors could not stop the erosion of these black auras. After a while, holes were corroded, and the black aura entered them from their mouths, noses, eyes and ears, in the body. After a while, the screams came and went, and the Zhang family seemed to be enduring unimaginable torture and pain. But after a while, these voices stopped abruptly. In the world shrouded in black air, the Zhang family warriors straightened their backs and stood up again, but at this moment, their aura was quite different from before. No matter who they were covered by a wave of black shrouded in fog. Everyone had an inexplicable evil smile on their faces, and their eyeballs also turned red and black, looking extremely terrifying. Boom boom boom. In a certain place, a huge hole was suddenly blasted out of the ground by a berserk force, and the soil was blown up. From the hole, a vigorous figure sprang out from it. The figure landed on the ground, moved his arms, hands and feet a little, and there was a crisp crackling sound from inside his body. He twisted his neck again, and suddenly let out a low, sinister smile. If Yang Kai is still here, he must be able to find that this figure is not someone else. It is Zhang Taisheng, the ancestor of the Zhang family who was beaten by him before like a bereaved dog. But in this short period of time, Zhang Taisheng's injuries seemed to have healed. Not only that, but his aura was also stronger than before, as if he had received some huge improvement. Not only him, but also the rest of the Zhang family. Every person who has been eroded by the black air and changed, seems to have a huge improvement in his aura and strength. Zhang Taisheng stood for a while. Suddenly there was another swishing sound from behind. One figure after another sprang out from the hole behind him, and stood neatly behind him without saying a word, which was extremely strange. These figures are all Zhang family warriors and miners who were demonized in the mine before. Zhang Taisheng looked around, with an extremely satisfied expression on his face, and immediately raised his head and let out a long roar. The whistling sound spread directly into the sky, and the dark devilish energy seemed to have been summoned by something, turning around and gathering into a dark tornado, rushing towards the sky, as if to poke a hole out of the sky. In the distance, Yang Kai and Mo Shaoqi, who were running hard, heard the howling sound, and when they looked back, their faces changed drastically. It's broken, Yang Kai exclaimed. The Zhang family didn't know what they released this time. Fengguan City may be in danger. If I'm not mistaken, it should be the evil energy of the ancient great devil. Mo Shaoqi continued. Ancient demon, Yang Kai frowned. Well, in ancient times, humans, demons and other various alien races had their heydays, and they all once ruled the star world, but as the years changed, the races changed and rotated, and one race after another was replaced. Because of our large number and strong people, we humans have been able to rule the star world so far, suppressing the living space of other races. But this does not mean that other races have been destroyed. In some hidden places in the star world, various alien races they all have their own places to multiply and thrive, but they rarely show up. Today's demons are one of them, but today's demons are completely different from the ancient demons, and only the ancient ones are as pure as the ancient ones. Demonic energy can demonize other creatures and transform them into members of the demon clan. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my greatest motivation. Chapter 2073 Rampage. Is there such a thing? Yang Kai said in surprise. In that mine pit, either the evil energy of the ancient great devil was sealed, or the body of the ancient great devil was sealed. Damn it, how did the Zhang family find this place, and even broke the seal? Mo Shaoqi's pretty face, his face was full of anger. It seems that the reason why there are so many Qingxin jade in the mine is not born naturally, but because of the seal. Yang Kai thought. The greatest effect of the pure heart jade is to purify the mind and spirit, and it is the opposite of the evil energy. Perhaps, a long time ago, a powerful person from ancient times used a large number of pure heart jade to arrange a seal on the ground, but as the Zhang family has been sending people to dig over the years, the seal must have been broken, and this is how the magic energy leaked. I hope it's the former. If it's the latter. Mo Shaoqi hesitated to speak. What will happen? Yang Kai asked. Mo Shaoqi glanced at him quietly, and continued, this means that the ancient great demon has a chance to be resurrected. If so, I am afraid that only the 10 great emperors can take action to destroy it. Hearing this, Yang Kai's face suddenly darkened. The devil's energy has dissipated. Mo Shaoqi seemed to have a new discovery at this moment, and quickly shouted coquettishly. Yang Kai sneaked a look back in his busy schedule and found that, as Mo Shaoqi said, the huge demonic energy covering the land of thousands of miles seemed to have been mobilized and scattered in all directions. The billowing demonic energy was like an invincible torrent, no matter where it rushes, it will leave a mess. At the foot of the barren hill near the mine, there was originally a village, but when the devilish energy rolled over, there were screams and screams from that village immediately. After the demonic energy disappeared, one after another figures wrapped in pitch black aura stood up from every corner of the village. Immediately, they all stared at Yang Kai and Mo Shaoqi who were fleeing in the distance, and chased after them with all their strength. These ordinary people who have never practiced before have shown physical strength not inferior to beasts at this moment, and their bodies are vigorous, like cheetahs. Although they can't catch up with Yang Kai at all, they still have no intention of giving up. Sir. At this moment, Zhang Ruoxi's weak cry suddenly came from Yang Kai's arms. Are you awake? Yang Kai lowered his head and saw Zhang Ruoxi staring at him. After a period of recuperation, his pretty face seemed to have become ruddy. After walking around in her body and making sure that she was fine, he was relieved. Sir, save the orphans and widows of my Zhang family. Zhang Ruoxi begged, they don't know anything about the situation here, if they let it go. Yang Kai frowned when he heard this, but quickly nodded and said, okay, I'll go to the Zhang family now. Thank you sir. Zhang Ruoxi replied gratefully. Brother Yang, why don't we split up? Mo Shaoqi suddenly said, you go to that Zhang's house, I'll go to Fenggalan City and inform the city lord to take precautions, otherwise I'm afraid it will be too late when the evil energy invades Fenggalan City gone. Alright. Yang Kai nodded when he heard the words. He also had this plan, but now Mo Shaoqi took the initiative to propose, be careful, I will rush to Fenggalan City to meet you as soon as possible, and then stay away from this right and wrong land. Mo Shaoqi nodded heavily, then turned into a stream of light and shot straight towards Fenggalan City with a surge of strength. After Yang Kai waited for her to leave, he accelerated suddenly. After half a stick of incense, Yang Kai has arrived at the Zhang family's manor. At this moment, the sky was just getting brighter, but a group of orphans and widowed mothers of the Zhang family got up very early, and there were already traces of people moving around in the manor. When Yang Kai rushed to this place, the only 2 men left in the Zhang family, fat and thin warriors, were competing in an open space. Just when they were inseparable, there was a blur in front of their eyes, and suddenly there was an extra person. The fat and thin warriors turned pale in shock, took a step back at the same time, and sternly shouted, who? But the next moment, the fat warrior showed a happy expression on his face, and said in surprise, hey, it turns out that it's the benefactor who came. And Ruoxi. The thin warrior also saw Zhang Ruoxi who was gently put down by Yang Kai, and greeted him enthusiastically. Ever since Yang Kai solved the danger of genocide for the Zhang family last time, everyone in the Zhang family has been grateful to Yang Kai, and seeing them now, they are naturally full of joy. Second brother and third brother. Zhang Ruoxi blushed slightly, she seemed a little embarrassed, and hurriedly called out. You talk, I'll go find the old lady. After Yang Kai said something, his figure suddenly blurred and disappeared. Ngong is in such a hurry, what are you doing? The fat warrior instinctively sensed something was wrong, looked at Zhang Ruoxi worriedly and asked, did something happen? That's how it is. Zhang Ruoxi also knew that this was not the time to reminisce about the old days, so she quickly explained what happened in the mine. After listening, the fat and thin warriors all turned pale. At this moment, a voice transmission from the Zhang family's mistress suddenly came from the ears of the two of them. The two looked serious, and after greeting Zhang Ruoxi, they rushed towards the manor in a hurry. After another half a cup of tea, an exquisite building boat suddenly rose from the Zhang family manor, and soon turned into a stream of light, shooting towards Fenggalan city. There are not many people in the Zhang family now, only about a dozen people. Except for the fat and thin warrior who was a man, the others are all women. Moreover, the levels of cultivation were not uniform. Yang Kai could only sacrifice the secret treasure of the building boat in order to hurry, and flew to Fenggalan city with them. Fortunately, there were not many of them, otherwise the action would not be so fast, and the old lady of the Zhang family did not doubt what Yang Kai said. After learning the seriousness of the matter, she immediately followed Yang Kai and left without leaving Zhang's family behind. This centuries-old foundation. The old woman is half buried in the ground, so she naturally knows that as long as there are people in the family, there is always a chance to make a comeback, but if there are no people, the family is really over. It must be safe with members of a family, but what is a foundation of hundreds of years? The distance of 300 miles has been reached in just a moment. At the gate of the city, when the warriors guarding the city saw the big boats rushing towards them, their expression changed drastically. One of the warriors at the first level of the Void King raised his voice and shouted loudly, "Who is coming? You are not allowed to use it in Fenggalan city. Any flying secret treasure, please get off the ship quickly." In the boat, there was no response at all. Seeing that the big boat was getting closer, the guards all looked stern. Just as they were about to launch an attack on the big boat to defend the majesty of Fenggalan city, suddenly there was an unbearable coercion from the big boat. Daoyuan realm. The martial artist of the Void King's first tier was short and nearly fell to his knees. As for the others, their cultivation base was worse than him, so the situation was naturally worse. Lost in this one, Lu Chuan rushed into Fenggalan city at an extremely fast speed. Who is so brave, dare to use the secret treasure of flying in the city? This man is tired of living. Where did the people from the city lord's mansion go? Why didn't you teach him a lesson? Are you kidding? The person in the boat is a Daoyuan level expert. Except for the two deputy city lords and the city lord, who can stop him? For a moment, the warriors in Fenggalan city looked up at the sky and whispered. In normal times, Yang Kai would never be so ostentatious, but now that time is running out, he has brought a group of Zhang family orphans and widows, and there is really no way. Good things do not go out, but bad things spread thousands of miles. Soon, the news that someone ignored the rules of Fenggalan city and ordered the secret treasures of the building to break into the city spread to the eyes and ears of the major families in the city, which made people feel very surprised. But at this moment, Yang Kai had sent the boat to the spirit pill workshop. He will come here. Naturally he wants to inform Kong Saran. In the entire Maple Forest city, he has a slightly closer relationship with Kong Saran and Mo Shaoqi. Now that Maple Forest City is facing a catastrophe, he naturally wants to inform the other party. You stay here and don't move. I have already activated the defensive restriction on the building. I will go back when I go. After Yang Kai told the Zhang family group, he hurried out of the building. At the same time, Kong Saran just heard the noise and came out of the spirit pill workshop. The first time he saw Yang Kai, Kong Saran's eyes almost popped out, pointing at him and exclaiming in surprise, "Yang! Brother Yang, you!" He thought he saw a ghost in the daytime. After all, when Yuanding Mountain collapsed, there was no trace of Yang Kai. Later, he also inquired about Yang Kai's whereabouts. He knew that the people from Raging Fire Palace searched the collapsed Yuanding Mountain for 2 months, but there was still no trace. Find. More than half a year has passed, and there is still no news of Yang Kai. Kong Saran took it for granted that Yang Kai had died in Yuanding Mountain. But now, Yang Kai miraculously appeared in front of him. How could Kong Saran not be surprised? But soon, Kong Saran put on a relieved expression, as if letting go of a certain burden in his heart. He walked forward quickly, holding Yang Kai's arm with one hand, and ruthlessly holding Yang Kai's arm with the other. He patted him on the shoulder, looked him up and down, and said in his mouth, okay, Brother Yang, you are indeed auspicious, and you have a natural appearance. Now Brother Yu is finally relieved." Speaking of it, Kong Saran still felt quite guilty these days, because he was the one who brought Yang Kai to Yuanding Mountain, but when something happened to Yuanding Mountain, he ran back safely, but Yang Kai died there. For more than half a year, Every time Kong Saran thought of this place, he felt guilty and uneasy, thinking that he had harmed Yang Kai, and often couldn't sleep at night, and couldn't cultivate with peace of mind. But now, the source of his restless sleep and food has returned safely, and he naturally became much more relaxed all of a sudden. As soon as Yang Kai's heart moved, he immediately understood Kong Saran's psychological changes, but it was not easy to explain. "Brother Yang, you are..." Kong Saran cast his eyes on the exquisite building boat floating above the spirit pill workshop. A look of suspicion flashed across his face. He didn't know what Yang Kai was going to do. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 2073. Brother Kong, something is wrong. Yang Kai said with a stern expression. What happened? Kong Saran's complexion changed, and he asked anxiously when he got a clue from Yang Kai's expression. It's like this. Yang Kai quickly explained what happened in the mine pit, and then continued. Brother Kong, please pack up your things quickly and leave Fenggulan City with me. How could this be? How could there be the pure magic energy of the ancient great demon near Fenggulan City? Kong Saran lost his mind for a while, and couldn't believe his ears. If Yang Kai hadn't come to tell him about this matter, he would have laughed it off and definitely wouldn't take it seriously, but this is the news that Yang Kai brought, so he couldn't help but think about it. I don't have time to think about it. Yang Kai looked back at the sky outside the city worriedly, as if aware of it. His face changed slightly, and he said in a low voice, Brother Kong, I will go to the city lord's mansion, and I will be back soon. Get out of here as soon as I get back. At this point, he has stimulated the power of space to flicker in the city. Kong Saran was startled, and without thinking about anything, he turned around and rushed into the spirit pill workshop. The next moment, the entire spirit pill workshop was in a state of panic. The location of the city lord's mansion is right in the center of Fenggulan City. Yang Kai had also been in the auction meeting with Kong Saran last time, so he is naturally familiar with the road. He was going to the city lord's mansion not to inform anyone, but to find Mo Shaoqi. Counting the time, Mo Shaoqi should have explained the situation at the mine to the people in the city lord's mansion at this moment, but there was still no sign of him. Yang Kai could only rush over in person and bring Mo Shaoqi back. In the middle of the journey, he took out the sound bead that Mo Shaoqi had given him before, poured his spiritual thoughts into it, and sent a message. It's a pity that Mo Shaoqi didn't respond at all. Yang Kai frowned, and after retracting the sound beads, the speed increased a lot. After a while, he came to the city lord's mansion, swept over with his powerful divine sense unscrupulously, and immediately found Mo Shaoqi's trace. Mo Shaoqi is currently in a side hall of the city lord's mansion, and there seems to be a Daoyuan realm first-level warrior with him, but the aura is very strange, and he doesn't know who it is. The power of space fluctuated, and Yang Kai appeared directly in the side hall. Turning his eyes away, Yang Kai immediately found that Mo Shaoqi was standing in front of a gray-skinned old man, talking about something excitedly, while the old man was standing there with his hands behind his back, his face full of indifference. Look. As soon as Yang Kai appeared, the old man noticed something, turned his head suddenly, and suddenly 2 rays of light shot out from his plain eyes, falling on Yang Kai, and immediately he showed a look of surprise. Because the old man discovered that Yang Kai was an extremely strange Dao origin realm. This is rare in Maplewood City. Brother Yang, Mo Shaoqi, as if seeing a savior, greeted him with a happy expression. Have you dealt with it? Yang Kai asked hastily. Mo Shaoqi got annoyed when he heard the words, pointed at the gray-faced old man, stomped his feet and said, This deputy city lord Zhuang doesn't believe what I said at all, I'm just arguing with him. Don't believe it? Yang Kai frowned, but hearing what Mo Shaoqi said, Yang Kai also knew who this gray-faced old man was. Deputy city lord of Fenggulan City, Zhuang Pan. It is also the cultivation base of Daoyuan first-level realm. In the entire Fenggulan City, there is a city lord and 2 deputy city lords. The city lord is naturally Duan Yuenshan, who has a cultivation base of Daoyuan second level, and one of the 2 deputy city lords is a drunkard who once presided over the auction meeting. She is perverse and has a weird temper, and the other one is the Zhuang Pan in front of her. Although both he and the drunken man only have the cultivation base of the Daoyuan first level, but they have been immersed in this level for many years, and it is very possible to make a breakthrough anytime and anywhere. In the city lord's mansion today, he might be on duty, so after Mo Shaoqi came here, he didn't take much effort to see him, But it's a pity that the Zhuang Pan didn't believe Mo Xiaoqi's words too much. No matter what Mo Xiaoqi said, no matter how serious the situation was, he always looked indifferent. Instead, he looked at Mo Xiaoqi with a suspicious look, wondering if he was suspecting that she had other plans. This really made Mo Xiaoqi anxious. She would take the initiative to come to the city lord's mansion to inform about the leakage of the devil's energy, because she was kind-hearted, and she couldn't bear to see so many warriors in Fenglan City being poisoned by the devil's energy. It made her feel a little hot-faced and put that on her face, and she felt aggrieved. "How do you call this friend? You have a very familiar face." When Zhuang Pan faced Yang Kai, his expression was a lot more serious. After all, Yang Kai's cultivation level is not something he can ignore. "Yang Kai, I've met Deputy City Lord Zhuang." Yang Kai cupped his fists at him, and before he could say anything else, he continued, "What my friend said before is not a fabrication, but a real thing, which I saw with my own eyes. As you can see, how the City Lord's mansion should defend against it, I asked Deputy City Lord Zhuang to discuss a countermeasure with the City Lord as soon as possible." After Yang Kai finished speaking, he didn't show any face, he pulled Mo Xiaoqi and wanted to go to the layman. Seeing this, Zhuang Pan's face suddenly darkened, looking very displeased. But at this moment, a Void King first-level martial artist rushed in hastily outside the door. With a panicked expression, he waited in the hall, and shouted, "Report to the Deputy City Lord, just now there was a building ship that ignored the inside of the city. The rule of prohibiting flying has actually rushed into the city, and there are strong people in the Daoyuan state sitting in the building, and we are powerless to stop it, so I ask the Deputy City Lord to make a decision." Landboat, Daoyuanjing. Zhuang Pan couldn't help shrinking his eyes when he heard the words. The next moment, he raised his head to look at Yang Kai's back, and immediately shouted loudly, "My friend, go slowly." After the words fell, he was furious, and with a sway of his figure, he came behind Yang Kai like a ghost, and stretched out his hand to pat his shoulder. Sensing the movement behind him, Yang Kai pushed Mo Xiaoqi away, turned around, raised his hand, and faced Zhuang Pan's big hand with one palm. Boom! There was a sound from the ground, and the aura of heaven and earth was shaken, and a gust of wind raged in the hall. Yang Kai was as motionless as a mountain, but Zhuang Pan took a step back, his face became more gloomy than before. "What do you want to do?" Yang Kai turned sideways, looking at Zhuang Pan with an unkind expression, his eyes flickering coldly. Zhuang Pan was excited, but at least he was a strong man in the Daoyuan realm. He took a deep breath to stabilize the blood rolling in his chest, and said in a deep voice, "This friend, as the Deputy City Lord of Fenglan City, Zhuang has the right to govern the city. You must have heard the report of the guard just now about matters big and small. Zhuang wants to know. The boat is indeed mine." Yang Kai continued without waiting for him to finish. "My friend is so courageous." Zhuang Pan was furious when he heard the words, "You are not allowed to fly in Fenglan City, and you are not allowed to use any flying secret treasure. Ask a friend to explain." Before Yang Kai opened his mouth to speak, Mo Xiaoqi jumped angrily from the side. "You are really interesting, the leaked demonic energy is about to harass Fenglan City, but you are here to pursue Big Brother Yang's building boat. You really don't take the lives of hundreds of thousands of people in Fenglan City seriously." Zhuang Pan narrowed his eyes, and snorted coldly, "Let's not talk about whether this matter is true or not. How can Zhuang believe it based on your one-sided words? But this friend broke the rules of Fenglan City, so I'm afraid he can't just leave like this. Let it go. If you want to leave, you have to ask Zhuang if he agrees." "What rules are you talking about when you are about to die?" Yang Kai laughed angrily. "Xiaoqi, you don't need to talk to him anymore. We have brought the news, believe it or not, it's up to him. When the day when Fenglan City will be devastated, let's see if those hundreds of thousands of innocent souls will haunt him day and night. Let's go." Mo Xiaoqi nodded, glared at Zhuang Pan angrily, and followed Yang Kai. "I said that if you want to leave, you have to pass this level first." Zhuang Pan shouted angrily, and suddenly a secret treasure in the shape of a small tower appeared in his hand, and the source power was poured into it, and the small tower turned slowly. When he got up, he flew towards Yang Kai and Mo Xiaoqi head-on. During the flight, the small pagoda opened against the wind, and suddenly became a huge monster with a height of more than 10 feet. The bottom of the pagoda was dark, and the power of Lao lingered in it, pressing down on Yang Kai and Mo Xiaoqi. Looking at that posture, it seems that they are going to suppress the two of them directly in the tower. Daoyuan level secret treasure. Yang Kai noticed the powerful power emanating from the small tower, his eyes couldn't help shrinking, and his anger suddenly burned. Gritting his teeth, he reached out and took out a light blue ball, and urged the source force to pour it in. The light blue bead is not big, it looks like it is only the size of a longan. With the infusion of source power, a beating electric arc suddenly appeared in the bead, with thin and weak hairs. Mo Shaoqi stared at the round bead in astonishment, and then let out a slight humming sound, which seemed extremely surprised. At this moment, the electric arc jumping in the ball has already jumped out like a fish swimming, and accompanied by a light slap, it faced the high tower that was pressed down from the air. Seeing this scene, Zhuang Pan couldn't help sneering, his eyes were full of disdain and contempt, the spell in his hand changed, and the already small tower became even bigger. Click! The electric arc smashed into the interior of the tower, and disappeared in the blink of an eye, and the tower did not respond. Zhuang Pan laughed and teased, "My friend's methods are really eye-opening." Yang Kai just stood there quietly, responding with a sneer. Seeing such a weird reaction from him, Zhuang Pan suddenly felt a sudden, bad feeling in his heart. Before he could figure out what Yang Kai had behind him, there was a burst of crackling sound from the inside of the high tower under the air pressure, and then, layers of dense electric lights flickered on the outside of the high tower. It danced wildly like a madman, but the aura of the pagoda itself was disillusioned. At the moment when the lightning flashed, Zhuang Pan felt as if he had been swallowed by lightning, his face suddenly turned pale, and he opened his mouth to spit out a bloody arrow, most of his breath was exhausted, and he exclaimed in surprise, "How is it possible?" To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 2075 If you dare to stop me, you will die. Happy Chinese New Year. At that moment, Zhuang Pan realized that his spirituality in the pagoda had been greatly damaged. His pagoda is a Daoyuan level low-grade secret treasure. It has been refined and nourished by him with secret methods for many years with his painstaking efforts and spiritual sacrifices, and it is closely related to himself. After refining with that kind of secret method, although the power of the pagoda can be greatly enhanced, correspondingly, once the pagoda is damaged, as the master, he will also suffer backlash to varying degrees. At this moment, he suffered a great backlash. The internal energy in his body was turbulent for a while, and he was about to go berserk, but he couldn't suppress it at all, so he had to spit out a blood arrow. Ka-cha-cha! The lightning that traveled above the pagoda still continued, and it took a while before it gradually faded away. There seems to be no damage on the surface of the pagoda, but the spirituality has been greatly lost, and Zhuang Pan can feel that the inside of his pagoda is actually damaged, and there are many cracks. If he wants to repair it completely, he must find some for special materials, it takes a lot of time. After being hit by this, Zhuang Pan's qi and blood surged again, and blood gushed from his mouth. Master Deputy City Lord, the guard who came in to report before saw this and shouted in shock. Zhuang Pan held his chest with his hands, his face was extremely pale, his breath was uneven, and he looked at Yang Kai who was not far away with an ugly expression, his eyes were full of horror and disbelief. He really couldn't figure out what grade that bead-like secret treasure was, and it could emit such great power in one blow, that even his own Daoyuan-level secret treasure couldn't resist it. If this bombards himself, how can he survive? If he knew that the round bead was of the Emperor treasure level, he would probably be relieved. After all, Zhuang Pan was in the Dao origin realm, and Yang Kai didn't want to waste any more time with him, so he sacrificed the Nirvana lightning bead, one of the second jewels of the Emperor treasure, as soon as he made a move. Back then when he got the Nirvana Thunder Bead, it was nothing more than the Void Return Mirror. Although it could activate the Nirvana Thunder Bead, but because of the lack of realm, it was impossible to display the full power of the Nirvana Thunder Bead. Afterwards, it has been used many times, and every time it is used, the power of the Nirvana Thunder Bead will become stronger with the increase of its own strength. Now that he is in the Daoyuan realm, he can mobilize the power of the law of heaven and earth. Even if he still cannot exert the full power of the Emperor treasure, it is still not something that Daoyuan-level secret treasures can compete with. Under the collision of the two, it is clear at a glance which is stronger and weaker. Vice City Master Zhuang, please respect yourself. If you dare to stop him again, don't blame Yang for being ruthless. Yang Kai looked at Zhuang Pan coldly, and whispered. Zhuang Pan's face was ashamed, and he opened his mouth, not even daring to say a word on the scene. He can naturally realize that Yang Kai is not threatening, but really intends to do so. In other words, if he hinders him even a bit, then he may really die here. Ha 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 ha, my friend is so loud. Suddenly, a loud laugh came from outside, and then, two figures, one skinny and one fat, rushed in from outside. At the same time, a strong aroma of wine filled the hall. Seeing this, Yang Kai couldn't help but frown, squinting at the person coming. He recognized both of them, and the short and fat man was the perverse deputy city lord drunkard. As soon as he entered the hall, he glanced around, and then narrowed his eyes. But soon he calmed down, took off the big gourd around his waist, and took a mouthful, as if trying to suppress his shock. And the slightly thinner martial artist is Duan Yuenshin, the lord of Fenggalan City. He is also the only Daoyuan two-layer strongman in Fenggalan City. Yang Kai has met Duan Yuenshin many times, so he is no stranger to him. At this moment, Duan Yuenshin sized up Yang Kai with great interest, and laughed loudly. When did my Maple Forest City gain another Dao origin stage? It's really gratifying. He didn't seem to want to pursue Yang Kai's intention to injure Zhuang Pan at all, but showed a very gratified expression. It is not difficult to understand that the two of them will suddenly appear here. After all, this is the city lord's mansion. Duan Yuenshin and Drunken Wang also live here. The collision between Yang Kai and Zhuang Pan's secret treasure just now radiated strong energy fluctuations. Where can't you notice it? So they rushed over by coincidence. I've seen Lord City Master, I've seen Lord Vice City Master. Yang Kai frowned, and clasped his fists at the two of them. The drunken man grinned, wiped the wine flowing from the corner of his mouth with his hands, saluted casually, and didn't say anything. Instead, he found a seat next to the pillars of the main hall, sat down lazily, and held that the wine gourd was poured into his mouth. Duan Yuenshin chuckled. This friend is too polite, I don't know how to call a friend. Under Yang Kai, so it's Brother Yang. Duan Yuenshin's face flashed a trace of suspicion. My city lord remembers that there is no big family with the surname Yang in Fenggalan City. I'm just a scattered warrior, I came to Fenggalan City more than a year ago. So that's it. Duan Yuenshin showed a look of surprise, and said immediately, then I don't know why Brother Yang and Brother Zhuang are going to fight. Everyone is in the source of Dao, why not sit down and talk about it? So excited. City Lord, this person is really arrogant. He ignored the rules of the city and ordered the building boats to rush into the city. Zhuang just wanted to ask, but he didn't cooperate. Please ask the city lord to investigate. When Yang Kai opened his mouth, he said it first. What he said was still in line with the truth, there was no embellishment. Is there such a thing? Duan Yuenshin frowned and turned to look at Yang Kai. Yes, there is indeed such a thing. Yang Kai nodded. Zhuang Pan suddenly sneered. My lord, the rules of Fenggalan City were set by you yourself, but now this person ignores them and destroys them wantonly. Dare to ask how to deal with it. He suffered a loss from Yang Kai just now, and even his own pagoda was beaten so spiritually. He naturally hated Yang Kai to the extreme. Now that Duan Yuenshin and the drunken man came here together, if he can really convict Yang Kai, will definitely make Yang Kai suffer. This is what he likes to see. If City Lord wants to deal with Yang after hearing another news, then Yang has nothing to say. Yang Kai did not wait for Duan Yuenshin to speak, and then answered with a sneer. What news? Seeing his serious expression, Duan Yuenshin was a little puzzled. 2,000 miles away, the seal of the ancient great demon was broken, and the pure devil energy leaked out. I'm afraid it won't be long before it will disturb Fenggalan City. Yang Kai continued. What? Hearing the words, Duan Yuenshin exclaimed in surprise. The seal of the ancient great devil. The pure devil energy leaked. On the side, leaning on the stone pillar and tasting the fine wine, the drunken man was also stunned there. The drunkenness on his face disappeared, his eyes widened and he looked towards Yang Kai. The fine wine flowed from the corner of his mouth, but he still didn't know it. Nonsense. Zhuang Pan yelled angrily from the side. My lord, don't listen to this man's nonsense, he. Duan Yuenshin raised his hand to stop his next words, looked at Yang Kai sternly, and asked, is this really true? Where did Brother Yang get the news from? What evidence do you have? I saw this with my own eyes. I also fled all the way back to Fenggalan City. Yang Kai glanced at Zhuang Pan, sneered, pointed at Mo Shaoqi and said, my friend misses Fenggalan City's hundreds of thousands of people. The safety of the living beings. I came to the city lord's mansion to report the news, and wanted everyone to prepare early, but the deputy city lord Zhuang was unmoved, and he didn't even have the intention of sending someone to investigate. Flying into Fenggalan City, broke the rules and chattered endlessly, messed around, and even fought. As for the certificate, you can go and see for yourself. Ida's only 2,000 miles, and Ida's not too far away. I'll go and have a look. Over there." The drunken man heard the words. How could he dare to be negligent? Quickly pinned the wine gourd around his waist, stood up abruptly, turned into a streamer of light and shot outward. "I have said all that should be said, my lord, I will take my leave." After Yang Kai finished speaking, he gave Mo Shaoqi a wink. Mo Shaoqi understood, and hurried towards the layman. "You can't go. Things haven't been figured out yet." Zhuang Pan stood where he was, sternly shouting. "You dare to stop me, I'll let you die." Yang didn't reply at the beginning, and after leaving a word in his mouth, he and Mo Shaoqi disappeared. "My lord, this person is simply too arrogant and domineering." Zhuang Pan didn't dare to stop Yang Kai, he could only pin his hopes on Duan Yuanshan, hoping that he would take action to restrain Yang Kai. The latter glanced at him leisurely, and said lightly, "If what this person said is true, Fenggalan City may be in danger." When Zhuang Pan heard the words, he was shocked, and he dared not speak. Although Duan Yuanshan didn't say much, he couldn't see the dissatisfaction and blame in the eyes of the city lord, and he knew that he was extremely angry and anxious at the moment. But the seal of the ancient great demon was broken, and the pure magic energy leaked out. No matter how you think about it, it is impossible. After a while, Duan Yuanshan suddenly took out a communication compass from the space ring, and poured his spiritual thoughts into it. Obviously the drunken man returned from the communication. Zhuang Pan looked expectantly, and secretly prayed in his heart, praying that what Yang Kai and Mo Shaoqi said was just a casual fabrication, so that he would have a reason to find trouble with Yang Kai. And to deceive the city lord like this, Duan Yuanshan will definitely not let Yang Kai go. Buddha A. Under Zhuang Pan's nervous and expectant gaze, Duan Yuanshan's face suddenly turned extremely pale, and his body trembled slightly. "My lord," Zhuang Pan shouted nervously. "Decree, open all the defensive formations in the city, and increase the power of the formations to the strongest at all costs." Duan Yuanshan suddenly shouted, and it spread throughout the entire city lord's mansion. "No way." Zhuang Pan suddenly turned ashen and fell to the ground. Duan Yuanshan glanced at him angrily, his body was shaking, and he had disappeared into the hall. In a short while, countless instructions came out from his communication compass in an orderly manner, and passed to all directions in Fenggalan City. A moment later, there were bursts of buzzing sounds near the city wall of Fenggalan City. Various defensive formations that had not been activated for many years were activated one after another today. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Leave for half a day and update plan for the first month. Book friends, please come in. It's 30 today, so Xiaomo wants to be lazy, and I will only update one chapter today. I hope you will forgive me. Throughout 2014, Xiaomo updated twice a day. The number of words is not too many, but he can persist for 365 days. Well, there seems to be one update for one day, as if he was sick at the time, and I don't remember the specific reason. Closing parenthesis. Ida's not easy. In addition, the whole book of martial arts was only interrupted for one day. The sudden gastroenteritis was hospitalized, and I didn't bring a notebook, so, here, let me praise myself, and finally get rid of the interrupted update. Title, Oh ho 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 ho, A. Closer to home, in the first month of the month, I will often go out to visit the elders, visit relatives, and some relatives will come to Xiaomo's house to pay New Year's greetings. It will be very busy, so the first month will often be updated every day, let me tell you in advance. But everyone, please rest assured that Xiaomo will never stop updating. Now that he has got rid of that disgusting title, Xiaomo will not pick it up again. Constantly updating, this is also my biggest wish since I wrote Wulian. Finally, I wish everyone and Xiaomo himself a better year ahead. Shit, since the single chapters are all opened, then shamelessly ask for a monthly pass. Monthly pass, monthly pass, monthly pass, to be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 2076 Demon Chi Siege. New Year's greetings to everyone. In Fenggalan City, accompanied by a violent sound and the shaking of the ground, colorful light curtains suddenly emerged in the shape of a semicircle, covering the city. These prohibition formations were built and arranged by the city lords and family powerhouses of Fenggalan City in the past dynasties, in order to guard against foreign enemies, but these defense formations have basically never been used. Because Fenggalan City has not encountered any strong enemy invasion so far, Even those warriors who have lived in Fengelen City for a long time have almost forgotten the existence of the defensive formation. But at this moment today, these formations were activated one by one. What happened? How could these formations be activated? Something must have happened. Could it be that there are foreign enemies invading? Could it be that someone from the Emperor's senior realm came here? All of a sudden, many warriors in the city were startled and chattered into discussions, and some even raised their eyes to look in the direction of the city lord's mansion, wanting to know what kind of explanation the city lord's mansion would give. But at this moment, a hurried shout came from far outside the city. Everyone, enter the city quickly without delay. The voice yelled several times in a row, as if it was very urgent, and it was full of air, almost spreading throughout Fengelen City. It's the voice of the drunkard's deputy city lord. After some warriors heard the owner of the voice, their expressions froze, and they immediately ran up to the city wall and looked around. After a while, the city wall was full of people. The next moment, there were exclamations one after another. Look, the deputy city lord seems to be being chased by something. Oh my god, what the hell is that? It's pitch black. Even the deputy city lord is not an opponent. While everyone was discussing, the drunkard had already rushed to the front of Fengelen City. Seeing this, the warrior in charge of controlling the formation immediately opened a hole in front of him. The drunken man flickered and shot along the hole into the city. After he entered, the gap was quickly healed, and it returned to its original state. At the same time, the dark aura that followed behind the drunken man also rushed to this place without slowing down, and directly hit the outermost light curtain. Boom-a-ay! There was a loud noise, and the bright light curtain trembled slightly, and the color suddenly dimmed a lot, almost shattered. This scene was imprinted in the eyes of the nearby warriors, and they were startled immediately, and they all backed away with a big change in expression. The warriors who controlled the magic circle also hurriedly mobilized their own strength, increased the infusion of their own strength, and finally stabilized the trembling light curtain. Shish! Streams of light came from all directions in the city. Obviously they were the strong people of Fengelen City who had sensed the movement here. The city lord, Duan Yuenshen, was the first to appear. He landed on the city wall, staring at the front with a stern expression, his eyelids twitching slightly. On both sides of him, several strong men exuding the aura of Tao origin also appeared one by one. After seeing the terrifying scene in front of them, their expressions changed drastically. Master Duan, what are these things? One of the gray-haired old men asked. This old man has a cultivation level of the first level of Daoyuan, and he is none other than the patriarch of the Qin family, Qin Chaoyang. He is also the one who looks the oldest among the nearly 10 Daoyuan people present, and he seems to have died not long ago, and some age spots have appeared on his face. This is extremely rare for a Dao Source Realm warrior, and only those warriors who are about to reach the end of their lifespan will experience these physiological changes. Yes, City Lord Duan, since you ordered the opening of the defensive formation in advance, you should have got some news, right? Du Lishan, the patriarch of the Du family, also asked aside. Daoyuanjing people from other aristocratic families also looked at Duan Yuenshen, hoping that he could give an explanation. Demon energy. The pure magic energy of the ancient great demon. Duan Yuenshen said with a heavy face, it is said that it was leaked 2,000 miles away. Pure devil energy from the great ancient demon. Hearing this, the expression of all Daoyuan experts changed drastically. This city lord just got the news. Don't ask me where the devilish energy comes from. This city lord doesn't know. All I know is that if we can't work together, Fengelen City will be in danger today. Quote. As soon as this remark came out, the expressions of many Daoyuanjing were all terrified. Duan Yuenshen turned his head and looked around. You are also the leaders of your respective families. There are many members of your families who are still in the city. You don't want to see them being eroded by the devilish energy and lose all sanity from now on, right? It's natural. Qin Zhaoyang was the first to express his opinion. It's just that I asked the city lord to explain how to defend against the enemy. That's right, this is the first time I've come across the pure demon energy of the ancient great demon. We don't even know what method to use to get rid of it is the most effective. Liang Pengel of the Liang family said with a stern expression. Duan Yuenshen was at a loss for words for a while. Although he was at the second level of Daoyuan and had a level of cultivation higher than other people present, he was the same as everyone else with the pure magic energy of the ancient great demon. He didn't know how to effectively get rid of it after meeting him once. Brother Duan, you might as well strengthen your defenses first, and then do research on the rest. The drunken man had already lost his drunkenness, and he was more sober than ever at this moment. Exactly. Duan Yuanshan's eyes lit up, and he said, everyone should look for a section of the city wall to help others stabilize the defensive formation. When I find someone, I can ask him for some information. While speaking, Duan Yuanshan gave the drunkard a wink, and the drunkard understood, and immediately called everyone to come forward and began to study. After a short while, all Daoyuan warriors had already determined their defense area and dispersed. But the drunken man's expression flickered, as if he remembered something. He hurried towards the city lord's mansion. The shocking changes outside the city have already been known by many warriors in the city. One spread to 10 to hundreds, and soon, the warriors in the entire Fenglan city knew something, and some passionate warriors obeyed the call and went to the city wall to assist defense. For a while, the walls of Fenglan city were overcrowded. At the same time, in front of the spirit pill workshop, Yang Kai and Mo Shaoqi returned, and with a sweep of their spiritual sense, Yang Kai knew that Saran and those people in the spirit pill workshop were ready, and even boarded the boat. He motioned to Mo Shaoqi, and Mo Shaoqi immediately dodged into the boat. Just when he was about to enter the building boat, he suddenly looked to the side thoughtfully. Over there, among the crowd of onlookers, an ordinary-looking middle-aged man was quietly looking at him. When his four eyes met, the corner of the middle-aged man's mouth slightly raised, revealing a weird smile. Yang Kai frowned. He feels very strange to this middle-aged man, and he can be sure that he has never seen this person before, but this person is actually a martial artist of the third level of Daoyuan, which really makes people feel a little unbelievable. There are very few strong people of this level in Fenglan City. Except for the appearance of Luanfeng in Yuqing Mountain last time, which attracted countless powerful beings to investigate, the entire Fenglan city may not have a Dao in a year. A strong man from the third layer environment passed by. But now, there is one in the crowd, and he seems to be interested in him, which makes Yang Kai a little puzzled. However, he didn't think too much about it, and quickly boarded the building boat, and ordered the building boat to rush out. After the building boat left, the middle-aged man gave a sneer smile, and said to himself in a voice that no one else could hear, "It's really hard to find anywhere. Suo, but today you met the young palace master's boat, so you should know something." This middle-aged man is surprisingly the strong man who was sent by the master of Feixiang Palace half a year ago to investigate the murderer who killed Ningyuan City. He followed the clues, and easily found out that the last time Ningyuan City appeared was at the auction meeting in Fenglan City, so he rushed all the way to Fenglan City. It's just that more than half a year has passed, and he hasn't found any other useful information. Who knew that by chance today, I actually saw the secret treasure of the building boat in Ningyuan City in the city. He didn't think that Yang Kai had the ability to kill Ningyuan City. After all, there was a Daoyuan two-layer Luigi guarding Ningyuan City at that time. With Yang Kai's cultivation base, he shouldn't have this ability, but he felt that since Yang Kai could get Ningyuan the building boat in the city must know some information. That's why he was a little concerned about Yang Kai. There are so many people in the city, it's not easy to do it, he is going to follow it out before making plans. At the city wall, Yang Kai sent a building ship to fly here, but when he saw the situation outside, his heart sank. Because at this moment, the boundless ancient demonic energy has surrounded the entire Maple Forest city without even the slightest gap. If you look down from a high altitude, the Maple Forest city at this moment seems to have an extra layer made of pitch-black materials. General solid walls. The pitch-black city wall was constantly wriggling and running for dozens of miles, and any creature rushing into it would be very dangerous. Although the building boat's secret treasure is not low grade, and it also comes with some defensive restrictions, but rushing in so rashly, Yang Kai pays for himself, except for himself, everyone else must suffer. Brother Yang. Saran obviously also noticed this situation, and suddenly turned pale and said, "What should I do?" "Hey, it's still too late." Mo Shaoqi bit her red lips lightly, with a look of annoyance on her face, and at the same time scolded that Zhuangpan bloody in her heart. If they hadn't wasted so much time with Zhuangpan, maybe they still had a chance to leave this place before the demonic siege, but now, it's too late. Inside the building boat, pairs of pupils also stared at Yang Kai. At this time and place, Yang Kai's cultivation base is the highest, and he has become their backbone. Although Yang Kai's face was grim, he didn't show much panic. Because even if there is no way out in the end, he can still send everyone here into mysterious Shaoji, and break through the blockade of demonic energy by himself. Using the power of space, Yang Kai is 80% sure that he can escape safely. But in this way, there is no way to hide the big secret of the mysterious boundary orb. Those in the Zhang family can say that they regard Yang Kai as a benefactor after all. If Yang Kai tells them not to reveal the secret of the mysterious boundary orb, they will definitely swear to agree, tight-lipped. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Chapter 2077. There is no way out. But these folks and alchemists in the Spirit Pill Workshop are hard to say. Yang Kai doesn't have much friendship with them. If the secret of the mysterious boundary orb is revealed from their mouths, I'm afraid it will attract the covetousness of countless strong men. The mysterious boundary bead is an emperor's treasure, and it can form a world of its own. If you carry it with you, it may be the only one in the entire star world. There are still some treasures in the star boundary that are self-contained. For example, the 5-color pagoda that Yang Kai entered last time is the treasure of the Star God Palace, and the interior is also a self-contained world. But the biggest difference between the 5-color pagoda and the mysterious boundary bead is that it cannot be carried on the body at all, and can only be placed inside the Star God Palace. The mysterious boundary pearl is of great importance, and Yang Kai didn't dare to expose it unless necessary. Now it seems that it is impossible to break through the encirclement and get away. Yang Kai murmured, and suddenly his expression changed, and he asked, in Fenggalan City, there should be a space magic circle. In the hometown star field, there are some space magic circles that can be teleported in those big cities, not to mention in this vast and boundless star realm. Although Fenggalan City is not too big, it should have a space magic circle. Yes, but at the City Lord's mansion. Saran replied with a nod. Let's go to the City Lord's mansion. Yang Kai responded, and immediately ordered the building boat to gallop in the direction of the City Lord's mansion. Looking down from a high altitude, the entire Fenggalan City is in chaos at the moment. When the news of the pure magic energy of the ancient great demon besieging the city came out, the warriors who lived in the city all year round were naturally panicked, lest the defensive formation in the city be broken, so that suffer. And the first way out they can think of is naturally to teleport away through the space magic circle. So at this time, there are countless warriors rushing towards the City Lord's mansion. After realizing this, Yang Kai's complexion sank, and he urged the boat to move more quickly. Not long after, the Lushuan came to the sky above the City Lord's mansion. But before he could control the landing of the building boat, Zhang suddenly noticed a burst of energy belonging to a strong Daoyuan realm erupting from a certain palace. With a loud noise, the palace collapsed in an instant, and the broken stones flew shooting. The good hall suddenly became ruins. Many warriors flew out of the ruins cursing, each with an angry expression. Seeing this, Yang Kai shrank his eyes, instinctively had some bad premonition, turned his head, looked at Saran and said, "Brother Kong, that place could be the location where the teleportation circle is." Saran nodded with difficulty. The corner of Yang Kai's mouth twitched suddenly, and his eyes turned to a sloppy figure suspended in midair. This person is short and fat, with ragged clothes and messy hair. He looks no different from a beggar, but this person exudes a powerful aura that can only be possessed by Dao Origin realm. There is a big blue gourd pinned to his waist. Who is he if he is not a drunkard? And at this time and here, he is the only person in the Daoyuan realm, and it seems that the commotion just now is exactly his handwriting. And below, there are countless warriors staring at the drunken man angrily, with an expression of wanting to kill him soon. Master Deputy City Lord, why did you destroy the teleportation circle? It was in vain for us to admire you as a human being, but we didn't want you to act so viciously at this critical moment. That's right, drunken man, why do you want to cut us off? The space magic circle is destroyed, it's over now, we can't escape anymore. Drunkard, if you don't give me an explanation today, don't even think about leaving this place alive. Drunkard, we are at odds with you. Shouting and questioning, like the sharpest thorns, they stabbed at the drunken man suspended in midair, and those who were even more emotional had already taken the lead, sacrificed secret treasures, displayed martial arts, and slapped the drunken man across the face call to go. The drunken man stood there, despite all the criticisms, not moving an inch, even when facing the attacks that came. He didn't even blink his brows, he just urged the source to protect himself, and he didn't intend to fight back. Everyone. The drunken man looked around, his eyes were stern, his voice was low, and he shouted loudly, "The little old man understands everyone's thoughts, and also knows everyone's thoughts. But today, my Fengalan city is besieged by demonic energy, and it is in danger and will be destroyed at any time. Also a possibility. You old man, since you know why you want to destroy the space magic circle, you really have sinister intentions, and your intentions are terrible. A roar came from the crowd. The drunken man cast his eyes over there, with a deep apology flashing across his face. He continued, because of this, the little old man was forced to make such a bad plan. I have hundreds of thousands of fighters in Fengalan city. If we can work together, we may not survive this catastrophe, but if you only want to leave this place through the space magic circle, the city will be destroyed, and then the people here will be devastated, and the place will be wailing everywhere, and it will become a purgatory on earth. The little old man has lived in Fengalan city all his life. There are relatives and friends of the little old man here, as well as your relatives and friends. The little old man doesn't want to see them tortured and lose their sanity. Would you like to see this? One scene. If you only think about running for your own life, who will guard your relatives and friends? Speaking of this, the drunkard's majestic eyes swept around. Among the crowd, the angry voices gradually weakened a lot, and many people lowered their heads in thought. My Fengalan city is just a drop in the ocean in the entire star world. Even in the southern territory, I am not well known and little known. But my sons and daughters in Fengalan city are all proud. Little old man, I have lived for most of my life, and I have witnessed hundreds of years of Fengalan city. The little old man likes it here, and I don't want to see the moment when the city is destroyed. Everyone, don't worry, there are already messengers who have gone to other cities through the teleportation circle, and will also pass on the information here to the Star God Palace and other major sects. I believe that there will be strong people coming to help in the near future, and solve the crisis in Fengalan city. But before that, I implore you all to guard the city strictly with me and defend against foreign enemies. The little old man hereby assures you that I will do my best to protect the city and keep everyone safe. No complaints. Everyone, please help me. At this point, the drunken man glanced around, his eyes full of sincere requests. The audience was quiet, and there were no more noisy and complicated voices than before. Count me as one of the city lords. I swear by my heart demon here. If the city is alive, the city will be broken and the people will die. Duan Yuanshan's voice suddenly came from afar, and after a while, a figure flashed and appeared beside the drunkard. The drunken man was startled, and immediately grinned at Duan Yuanshan. Old Jew, you have worked so hard. Duan Yuanshan quietly transmitted his voice, with a look of gratitude on his face. The drunkard slowly shook his head. At this moment, in the crowd below, someone suddenly shouted, "Follow the city lord and the deputy city lord, obey the orders of the two lords, the city is alive, the city is destroyed, and the people are dead." The city is alive and the people are there, but the city is destroyed and the people are dead. The city is alive and the people are there, but the city is destroyed and the people are dead. More and more warriors joined in the sequence of shouting, and gradually, the sky-shattering sound gathered into a world-shattering sound wave, spreading to the surrounding fields and passing to the 9 heavens. All in one mind, unite as one. The drunken man looked down with satisfaction and bowed deeply. Regardless of whether the people below support him sincerely, or because they are forced to do nothing, as long as they are willing to do their part to protect Fengalan city, it is enough to get his gratitude. Thank you, everyone. Now we have no way out. If we want to survive, we have to resist the demonic energy. Please go to the city wall and support our comrades in the city. The drunken man shouted in all directions. As soon as it came out, the figures below moved, and each of them made their figures or sacrificed the flying secret treasure, and scattered in all directions. Old Jew, I'll leave this place to you. I'll go meet someone else. After Duan Yuanshan finished speaking, he turned his gaze to Lu Chuan not far away. With his body shaking, he came directly to the front of Lu Chuan, cupped his fists and said, "Brother Yang, can you show up and see?" "City Master Duan, let's go inside and talk about it." Yang Kai's voice came from the building boat. Duan Yuanshan smiled slightly when he heard the words, and stepped onto the building boat. After entering the cabin, Duan Yuanshan saw the indifferent Yang Kai. "Brother Yang." Duan Yuanshan clasped his fists again, and said with a stern expression, "Duan came here uninvited this time. In fact, he wanted to inquire about the information about the ancient devil energy with Brother Yang." "I know." Yang Kai nodded, and he didn't mean to hide it at the moment, and simply narrated everything that happened in the mine before. After Duan Yuanshan listened, His brows were congealed into Sichuan characters, and he said in a deep voice, according to what Brother Yang said, this incident was actually caused by the Zhang family. Not bad. Yang Kai nodded. No wonder I didn't see that old guy Zhang Taisheng. Duan Yuanshan looked angry, and immediately asked, since Brother Yang has had direct contact with that ancient devil energy, do you know how to fight against it? Yang Kai shook his head. I don't know much about this, but I just know that after the ancient demonic energy erodes the body of a person, it will change people's temperament drastically, and the person who has just died will be eroded and will come back to life. How could this be? Duan Yuanshan's expression changed. I don't know about that, maybe there is something magical about that ancient devil energy. While the two were talking, Mo Shaoqi suddenly interjected. Actually, there is no special way to deal with the ancient magic energy. We can only defeat it with powerful force. If it is ordinary magic energy, there are restraints, but it comes from ancient times. It is too difficult to restrain the pure demon energy of the great demon. But what? Duan Yuanshan immediately turned his head to look at Mo Shaoqi, with a look of inquiry on his face. However, since the pure heart jade is used as a seal in the mine, the pure heart jade should be able to resist the invasion of those evil spirits a little bit. If the warriors in the city can wear some pure heart jade, it may have some miraculous effects. Indefinite. Pure heart jade. Duan Yuanshan raised his eyebrows and said with a headache, this kind of thing is rare. There are some in the warehouse of the city lord's mansion, but the quantity is extremely small. Mo Shaoqi smiled slightly, stretched out his hand and took out a few rings, handed them to Duan Yuanshan and said, Master City Lord, take a look at this. Duan Yuanshan took it suspiciously, swept his spiritual thoughts and sighed, and immediately said with great joy, so many pure heart jade. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. That's my biggest motivation. Chapter 2078 Daoyuan Pill. The few rings that Mo Shaoqi gave to Duan Yuanshan were filled with pure heart jade, countless. This simply made Duan Yuanshan overjoyed. Girl, are these brought out from that mine? Duan Yuanshan asked thoughtfully. Mo Shaoqi nodded. I knocked out a few warriors from the Zhang family in the mine, and robbed their space rings, and they are all here. Young lady, please be respected by Duan Mo. Duan Yuanshan said, immediately stood up, and gave Mo Shaoqi a deep bow. Mo Shaoqi quickly waved his hands, and said a little embarrassedly, City Master Duan is serious, these are really nothing. Duan Yuanshan shook his head slowly, and said in a deep voice, in any case, I, Fenggalan City, will remember the kindness of the girl. If you can survive this disaster safely, the girl will be our guest in Fenggalan City. Pure heart jade has more or less effects on any warrior, so its value is not small. So many pure heart jade is an astonishing wealth in itself. If it were an ordinary warrior, even if he knew that Fenggalan City was in danger, he would not be able to contribute these pure heart jades, but Mo Shaoqi took them out without frowning. This made Duan Yuanshan very grateful. Think of these pure heart jades as being bought by my city lord's mansion of Fenggalan City. In the future, my city lord's mansion will convert them into corresponding source crystals and return them to the girl. Duan Yuanshan said again. It really doesn't matter. Mo Shaoqi really didn't know what to say. Yang Kai's expression flickered, and he said, City Master Duan, I also have some pure heart jade here, if it is not enough, just tell me. Duan Yuanshan's eyes lit up when he heard the words, he laughed loudly and said, if Brother Yang and the girl can help me, why should I worry about my Fenggalan City? Since Brother Yang is so generous, Duan will thank you here first. When there is not enough, I will come to Brother Yang. Well, Duan needs to distribute these pure heart jades. I wonder if Brother Yang is willing to go to the city wall with Duan, to defend against foreign enemies. Yang Kai didn't answer immediately, but glanced at the others, and said, I can go there, but I have to settle them down first. That's natural. Then Duan took the first step. Duan Yuanshan was overjoyed when he heard the words. At this time, getting a strong man at the Daoyuan level to help out would be of great benefit to the entire Fenggalan City. He naturally thanked Yang Kai-ji for his support. Understand the righteousness. After finishing speaking, his figure flickered, and he immediately got off the building boat and flew straight towards the city wall. After Duan Yuanshan left, Yang Kai looked at Mo Shaoqi and said, Shaoqi, my cave has been taken back by the city lord's palace, so they can be placed in your cave. No problem. Mo Shaoqi readily agreed. Yang Kai nodded. Following Mo Shaoqi's guidance, the Yushalo boat flew towards her cave. After a while, a group of people came to Mo Shaoqi's cave. Under Yang Kai's arrangement, a group of people from the Zhang family, some folks from the Spirit Pill workshop, and 2 alchemists all entered the cave. "Old lady, you rest here. If there are any changes in Fenglan City, I will come to you in advance and take you out of here." After Yang Kai finished speaking, he looked at Zhang Ruoxi and said, "Ruoxi, take care of me. Your Zhang family." "Yes, sir, you must be careful." Zhang Ruoxi looked at Yang Kai worriedly. "Shaoqi, do you have a secret room here?" Yang Kai asked again. "Yes, come with me." Although Mo Shaoqi didn't know what Yang Kai wanted to do, he still hurriedly led the way. "Brother Kong, come here too." Yang Kai greeted Kong Saran. Although Kong Saran was puzzled, he didn't ask any further questions and followed closely. The cave that Mo Shaoqi rented in Fenglan City is of the highest grade. Whether it is the richness of heaven and earth aura, or the size of the cave, it is not comparable to the cave before Yang Kai. There are as many as 5 or 6 secret rooms in the cave for retreat. After arriving in one of the secret rooms, Yang Kai gave Mo Shaoqi a wink, and Mo Shaoqi retreated knowingly. "Brother Yang, what did you bring me here for?" Kong Saran was at a loss, not knowing why Yang Kai brought him to this secret room at this critical moment. When all the warriors work together to resist the demonic energy. "Brother Kong, look at this." Yang Kai reached out and threw a jade bottle while speaking. Kong Saran took it suspiciously, opened the bottle cap, turned the jade bottle upside down, and poured out a panacea from the bottle. The next moment, Kong Saran's body shook violently, and he stared at the panacea in his hand with eyes full of light. With an expression of disbelief on his face, his eyes widened and he stared carefully. Called Daoyuan Dan. As the shopkeeper of the elixir workshop, there are countless elixirs in his hands, so Kong Saran also has a lot of research on elixir. Although he has never seen the real Daoyuan elixir, but with his experience and knowledge, he is not so good. Know what Daoyuan Dan looks like and what kind of fragrance it emits. The panacea in his hand is exactly the same as the rumored Daoyuan pill. The only difference is that this Daoyuan pill has lines like the meridians of the human body, as if a beautiful pattern from the hands of heaven and earth, dotted on the surface of the pill. Daoyuan pill with pill patterns. Kong Saran's voice became sharp, and his hands trembled uncontrollably. "I got this in Yuanding Mountain." As expected by Brother Kong, it is indeed Gongsunmu's cave, and the Daoyuan Dan he refined was left behind. Unfortunately, it has been too long. Only this one has been preserved, and the others have become waste products. Yang Kai explained with some regret. Of course this is bullshit. This Daoyuan pill with pill pattern was refined by him before breaking through the Daoyuan realm. After the refining was successful, he didn't have time to check his own results at all, and immediately devoted himself to the juncture of promotion. After he was promoted successfully, he only had the time to check when he was waiting for Lu Yan near Yuanding Mountain. At that time, he made 6 pills at one time, 5 of which were ordinary Daoyuan pills, and only this one gave birth to pill patterns. Fortunately, otherwise, he would not be able to explain the origin of the source pill in his hand. After all, only the panacea that gives birth to the pill pattern can last for a long time without losing its medicinal properties. Now he told Kong Saran that this Daoyuan Dan came from Yuanding Mountain and was refined by Gongsunmu himself, which is reasonable. Brother Yang, this. Although Kong Saran was so excited that he couldn't get any more greedy, he looked up at Yang Kai, gritted his teeth, and said, "This thing is too precious, brother, you can't accept it." Yang Kai chuckled and said, "Brother Kong, you're out of your league if you say that. I wouldn't be able to go to Yuanding Mountain if it wasn't for you. Let alone, didn't you and I discuss it before, if there is a Dao in it, the words of Yuanden belong to you, and other things related to alchemy belong to me." Lita S put it this way, "I got more than one Daoyuan Dan in Yuanding Mountain. I also got some things that are useful to me, and I can even be promoted to Dao. The source environment is also thanks to the opportunities inside." Yang Kai's words were not casual nonsense. If he hadn't taken the Wanbao herb soup at the bottom of Yuanding Mountain, the source power in his body would not have transformed so quickly, and if the source force hadn't been completely transformed, he naturally couldn't break through the Dao source realm. Having said that, I am of no help at all. If this Daoyuan pill is put up for auction, it will be worth at least tens of millions of source crystals, or even more. Such a precious thing, Kong will accept it. I am ashamed. Kong Saran kept shaking his head, and even flipped his hands, put the Daoyuan pill back into the jade bottle, and stuffed it to Yang Kai. Even though his eyes were full of reluctance, his actions were not sloppy at all, and his voice was sonorous and forceful, obviously not pretending but really thinking so. At the last auction meeting, the finale Daoyuan fruit was auctioned for more than 10 million source crystals. Although one Daoyuan realm can refine a batch of Daoyuan pills, and if you are lucky, you can make several pills, but correspondingly there is also a huge risk. In case of failure, there will be nothing. But what Yang Kai took out was the finished Daoyuan pill, and it was still a Daoyuan pill with pill marks, which was extremely effective. In terms of value, it is definitely more than several times that of that source fruit. In other words, any martial artist who is at the peak of the Void King's third layer realm, as long as he can get this Daoyuan pill, there is at least a 70% chance of being promoted to the Daoyuan realm level. Brother Kong really doesn't want it. Yang Kai looked at Kong Saran with a smile. Kong Saran shook his head resolutely, but his eyes kept staring at Yang Kai's hands, and finally he turned his head cruelly, and simply looked out of sight. In that case, Yang Kai said slowly, then opened the jade bottle, and tossed the Dao origin pill in his hand. What are you going to do? Kong Saran looked at Yang Kai vigilantly. It's fine to eat fried beans, this panacea is fragrant, and it tastes good. Yang Kai said. He really threw the panacea in his hand, and the Daoyuan pill flew out immediately, opening towards him in a parabola fly out of the mouth. Stop! Kong Saran was shocked, stretched out his hand and sucked it back before the Daoyuan Dan entered Yang Kai's bloody mouth, and he said angrily, damn it, it's really abominable, Brother Yang. It's a waste of everything, it's not tolerated by heaven and earth. Anyway, you don't want it. Yang Kai shrugged his shoulders, with a look of indifference. Then you can't. Kong Saran said, sighing, forget it, if Brother Yang treats me like this, if Kong is still twitching, it will look too petty. I accept it, Brother Yang's kindness, Kong will remember it in my heart, and I will repay it in the future, Brother Yang, please accept Kang's respect. At this point, he straightened his robes, looked solemn, and bowed deeply to Yang Kai. Yang Kai smiled, didn't dodge or dodge, nodded and said, that's right. He suddenly put on a serious expression again, and said, Brother Kong, you should retreat here to refine the efficacy of the panacea. If I guess it is right, at least within 7 or 8 days, there will be no such effects in Fengguan City. Big problem, these days are enough for you to be promoted, I'm waiting outside for Brother Kang's good news. If you don't succeed, you will be benevolent. Kong will live up to Brother Yang's expectations. Kong Saran said in a deep voice. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to vote for recommendations and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation.